not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But
Hi guys!
Hi guys!
Hello
Full
everyone!
house tayo tonight! Everyone's here! Hi guys! Hi, good evening, good evening, good evening!
Good evening!
Good evening! Hola, bonsoir!
A very, very, very happy Sunday to everyone. Thank you so much for joining BBS and for spending your Sunday night with us. Hello!
Hi
So,
everyone!
hello. So, tonight is actually a very, very special night. Why special? If you noticed, we actually have a very colorful theme tonight. We also changed our logo to a very rainbow spangled logo. And we're actually joined by a very, very special guest as well. So before we introduce our special guest, we'd just like to introduce the group first. So we are Bruhaha B Squad. So we're comprised of Ange. Hello.
Hello, guys.
And Maya. Maya. We also have Patty. Mark.
Yes!
Gusto ko yan!
Dami energy.
BS Party, RBBS Party.
Mikey. And Nico.
Ganon! Kaan lang ganyan.
Gusto ko yung may mga the moves tayo at the intro.
Yes.
No? May
Yeah!
friends.
Of course.
Okay, so usually BBS is actually your go-to channel for reviews for BLs, GLs, or different shows showing different kinds of love within the spectrum. So for us to truly discuss these shows meaningfully and truthfully and respectfully, syempre it's also very important for us to know the issues that's being encountered by the people or the characters within these shows, diba? Or issues related to gender identity and respect on gender and preferences. And we will actually talk about a bill that seeks to address those issues, diba? So to introduce our very special guest who will talk about this bill and these issues, I'll give the mic to
Yes.
the mic.
Yeah, thanks, Maya. Yeah, I think I've known her since I've been in college. She's been an active voice, especially in this, speaking about sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, because we used to call her the big sister in the International Club of UP, because our organization used to be just beside their, I think, where they usually hang out. So it was good for us to see her actively waving our flag during our school days. And currently, she's the trustee of Metro Manila Pride. So please give a warm welcome for my good friend, Thais Estrada.
Yes! I love the
diba?
band!
Good to
Kabog.
I love the
Good
fan!
evening. Hi, Bruhaha B Squad. Hello, Maya, Patty, Mark, Mikey, Nico, and Lance. Lance, thanks for the introduction. Diyos ko, baby boy pa yan si Lance. Magkasama sila ng brother ko dun sa organization namin. An organization nila sa UP. And I was their big sister. Because, mas matanda ako sa brother. Ako yung ate. So, habang sila nag-org things, ako dun, madam lang sa gilid.
Yes.
As you should. Ayan. So, first of all, I would like to thank Thais for, accepting our invitation. And just like Maya said, this is actually a first for Bruhaha B Squad. This is the first time that we are going to be doing sort of like let's call it a discussion na lang para hindi masyadong formal on something that is very relevant today and also something that affects all of us, especially the community, right? So as you all know, we are going to be talking about SOGIE tonight. And we just want to make this sort of like a very freewheeling, very casual conversation. But of course, we are going to be talking about something very grave. So as with anything of this gravity, we want to sort of like start off with an overview or maybe sort of like the basics, right? So we are going to be talking about SOGIE Bill, but what is SOGIE anyways, diba? So it's very important for us to sort of like gain like an overview of what SOGIE is, because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, myself included, who are not very well versed in this term. So for our benefit and for my benefit as well, can you tell us a little bit about SOGIE? I mean, what does it mean? What is it? What is it really? Yeah.
Okay. So, well, basically, SOGIE, I don't know, does everyone know what SOGIE means? Like, all of you guys in the B squad? Do you have at
I
least
do.
a little bit of knowledge about
Yeah.
A little
SOGIE?
bit.
A little.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little
Sexual
bit. A little.
orientation,
Yung,
sexual
yung iba,
orientation,
like,
gender
probably
identity,
Gender
and
identity.
expression.
Mark probably knows. Nico, then Patty, do you know a little bit or medyo marami-rami?
Just a bit.
Okay, you don't. Okay, just a bit. All right. So here's how I'm going to introduce SOGIE, no? So we all, SOGIE just means it's an acronym for sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. So it is a term to describe the whole human experience of sexuality and gender. So we knew, or I don't know, our generation, siguro, like, I'm in my 30s, and especially in the Philippines, where section gender education is not part of, like, something that's discussed in school, curriculum. So in that sense, hindi ganun ka, like, solid yung foundations natin in terms of how we understand human sexuality and gender. Often we experience, we know about this sa college na. But when we are very young, all we know is that magkasama lang sa isang term ang sexuality, bakla, tomboy, transgender. It's just one thing. But in fact, here's SOGIE to explain that full spectrum of the human sexual and gender experience. So sexual orientation, SO, is different from your GI, gender identity, and then also different from your gender expression. Okay, mamaya na si genderbread person.
Okay.
May chichika akong something else, which I guess has been the best way that I've been able to explain SOGIE to people who have absolute zero knowledge of what it is. So imagine a bedroom, no? Imagine a bedroom. You are in your bedroom. Your sexual orientation is who you sleep with in your bedroom. Sino ang pwede mong katabi sa magtulog ka ulaya? Ano ba? What's the term? Hindi ba nag-censor ang big squad? Sorry. Okay lang? Like tatalik. Okay. So,
Yes.
okay. So, see, who you sleep with in bed. So, katalik mo in bed. Karelasyon. Most important. I mean, yeah, it's that term. And your gender identity is who you are in bed. At the end of the day, who are you? Who do you think you are? In the sense, your wholeness, the wholeness of your personal sense. That's gender identity. Who you are when you go to sleep. Nasa bed pa rin tayo na analogy for SOGIE. Gender expression is what you wear when you go to sleep. So it's your outward expression of who you are. And it doesn't, okay, here's the thing. These three things are independent of each other and can occur in different mix and match. Okay? So remember, sexual orientation is who you sleep with, gender identity is who you sleep as, and gender expression is what you wear when you go to sleep. So when you delve into the more specific thing, did you love it? Did you love it, Mike?
Yes.
Did you get to understand it?
Sobra. Ang daling i-absorb.
Yes, super.
Okay. I'm happy because that's how easy it is to at least explain this one, the boundaries of it each. But there's something that we can delve, because this is the Bruhaha B Squad, so i-delve natin ng mas malalim ang SOGIE. So what we have is the gingerbread person. So if you can flash, okay, so for everyone who's watching, this is okay. I don't want to say that it's complicated. No, it's just a map of where SOGIE is in a person. So identity, who we are, is what we perceive ourselves to be. It's our womanness or manness that defines our gender based on how much you align or don't align, or with what you understand the options to be for your gender. So this is self-determined identity. Okay. For the longest time, we thought that gender is always attached to what we have in between our legs, which is our sexual organs, because our gender is assigned by people who are not us, no? When we are born. So, for example, pinanganak ako, or sige, sabihin na natin, sige, ako na lang best example. So, pinanganak ako, the doctor saw na I have male genitals and assigned the male gender to me. Ma'am, my mommy, whose birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's parang sabi ng doctor, yung anak niyo po is male. Kasi nakita niya yung penis. Tapos sabi ng mommy ko, alright, then I will name I will call this child my son, and I will name him what I will name him, which is the male convention of names. So, yun yung nangyari kay Thais nung pinanganak siya. Pero, nung lumaki si Thais, unti-unti niya na-realize na hindi nagmamatch yung assigned gender niya at birth sa kung ano yung lived experience niya as a human. And this is even if the environment that Thais lived in is a binary environment. It's a world that, follows the binary gender expression, which is just male and female. I was born in a very small town in Mindanao. My province is in Bukidnon. I was born in Malaybalay City. It's a very small city. It's the capital city of Bukidnon. Beautiful city, by the way.
Bisaya day ka, Thais?
Bisaya ako. Bisaya tayo.
Nice.
It's
Cagayan de
Nico.
Oro. Cagayan de Oro.
Oh my God! Oh, super
Bisaya.
cool. Okay, so
Yes.
so Nico and I probably our cities are like 2 hours from each other. But Nico's city is in the near the sea, and mine is in the mountains.
Yes.
But anyway, so small town. So that's ganun ako paano ako lumaki, no? But then I self-determined come when I was in college. I understood that my lived experience is different than just being gay or bisexual. It's more than my sexuality, who I am. So nag-self-determine ako, ng identity ko, na it's gender-based, and realized that I'm a transgender person. So, nung nag-self-identify na ako, nag-self-determine ng identity, ni-reject ko yung identity na inassign sa akin at birth. So, that's a process that a transgender person undergoes to determine their own identity. Kayo, if you're the exact opposite of a transgender person, you are called cisgender. Okay? So, you did not have, or your assigned gender at birth matches your lived experience, gender experience right now. So, okay, if that's the case, maybe I can ask one of you guys to, this is a quick exercise. Gusto niyo nagpa-exercise?
Go ahead.
Okay. So,
Engage kami.
isa, sige, si Nico na lang. Para, si Nico, ikaw. So, we'll try to, as far as you've understood can you tell us what your SOGIE is? So what is your sexual orientation, Nico?
My sexual orientation. Well, I'm gay. Basically, I'm attracted
Gay.
to
Okay.
to males. Basically,
Okay.
if I were to like follow through the formula, ano ulit yon? Sino yung gusto kong kasama, kasiping, lalaki, syempre.
Kasiping.
Yes.
Oo.
Sino ako? I think I'm gay. I'm attracted to like someone who's gay as well, right? To
Males.
males, basically.
Okay. So, male.
Identity.
Okay.
Well,
So,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. So, so that's your sexual orientation. Then you have your gender identity.
Yes.
What do you think is your gender identity?
Well, this is identity ko. Ano ulit ang identity? Tignan mo.
Male or
Sino
female?
ka sa
Gender,
kama?
either male or female. Either you're cisgender male or cisgender female, or transgender female or transgender male. Meron ding agender. So that's
Okay.
they don't, or non-binary, which is they don't subscribe to the
Right,
two
right.
the limitations of the two genders.
Right.
Agender believes absolutely there's no gender that should be spoken of. Parang ganon.
So guys,
Parang
ayun
they don't believe that it exists.
sorry. So yun yung parang figure out ko na I've had this conversation with Mikey and another friend, no? Kasi ako, I would say cisgender male ako, but alam mo yung parang I don't want to really conform to certain boxes eh. Now, like the way I dress up, ayoko nang medyo, pag sinasabihan ako ng, uy, dapat you have to act pogi, parang hindi ko siya, nauumay ako. Na parang kahit ano pang act ko, acting ko ng pagpapapogi, hindi ko talaga kaya maging pogi. Ayoko rin maging maganda. 'Di ba? Parang I just wanna be different. Like look at what I'm wearing now. Parang ayoko nang masyadong palalaki, ayoko rin masyadong feminine. I just wanna be, I don't know if it's the right term. I'm a gender siguro. So I'm still figuring it out actually, to be honest with you. Yep.
That is your gender identity is I mean you have to maybe separate it. If the outward expression lang yung you have a matter with, and in terms of being following the feminine gender expression or masculine gender expression, maybe sa gender expression ka may kailangan i-interrogate sa self. But your gender, what you really know in your head, what you are, exclusive of how you present yourself, is being cisgender or transgender or agender. Like you don't believe there's it's necessary to have a definition of a gender, or non-binary, which is you do not believe na parang you should be boxed in terms of the two genders lang. So, pwedeng yun. But okay, but you can also, iba-iba kasi yan eh. So, tama ka. Pwede ka ngang, if you feel agender, like, you don't feel anything strongly male or strongly female kasi you don't see yourself as, thinking that gender is all that. Pwede din yun. So, yeah, you can interrogate yourself that way. So, kung agender, if you feel that way, you have to read more and educate yourself more about what a gender is, and then maybe you'll realize, okay, is this me just getting gender expression into play with what I really see myself as? Okay. But then gender expression is also different. So maybe that's dun ka dun ka medyo lukewarm. You don't mind the masculine or feminine presentation. You can be as feminine as you want, but not crossing over cross-dressing, having to cross-dress from male to female, or don't care about it at all. To be honest, my own gender expression, I don't care strongly about like a fully feminine presentation. I'm not a transgender woman who looks like a beauty queen. So wala akong ganong parang motivation sa self ko, no? My gender expression is, it is what it is. If I want to wear a sack today and a gown tomorrow, I'll wear what I want to wear.
Yeah.
Why not?
If I want to wear,
Yes.
diba? But
Work.
the limitation is, of course, I already have nag-chemical transition na ako, so I have
Okay.
boobs.
Yeah.
So I have to think, unless talagang wala na lang, no? Parang kebs na lang. But yeah, that's the case.
So, guys, I
Okay.
have a question, just for my own clarification, because I've always had this idea that if you are cisgender, it necessarily means you're straight. But by what you're saying now, cisgender
Right.
is not necessarily straight. What it
No.
is that if you are assigned male at birth and you think of yourself
And
as male, then that is
Yes.
cisgender. It's
Yeah.
basically your gender identity matches your biological sex, right?
Yes,
So that was
you are
the
absolutely correct.
that was the
Yeah, I think-
realization for me, because I always thought
Yeah.
cisgender is just straight. So I've always thought that Patty and Ange are cisgender, but no. Practically everyone in this room is cisgender. It's just in our gender expression
Yeah.
that we are all a little bit different. So thank you
Yes.
for
Yeah.
that.
You're absolutely right. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
parang
right.
ako.
So,
I'm actually cisgender
Yeah.
by brain. I dress masculine, but I fall for a guy.
Uh-huh.
So parang
Yeah,
I love a
so
guy on
you
bed.
are
I'm a guy.
homosexual cisgender.
Yeah, parang ganun.
So
Okay.
Lance is basically homosexual
Got it.
cisgender. Now, here's the thing. You can, since these three are mix and match, no? So I am a transgender woman. But you have heard of transgender women who are also lesbians. So
Yeah.
I identify as female, but I have sexual and romantic relationships with women as well,
Interesting.
or those who have the female gender.
Mhm.
So this huge
Right.
example would be Angie King, who
Yes.
was married
Yes.
to Joey King, Joey Mead King.
Yeah.
Within
Yeah.
their marriage, she came out as transgender and transitioned to the feminine gender. Well, she self-affirmed, no? Yun yung pag-transition niya. And then, but stayed in a romantic relationship with Joey because she is a lesbian. Angie identifies sexually as a lesbian,
Yeah.
or maybe bisexual, you know. So, and another example would be Caitlyn Jenner, who at
Yes.
the when she came out as transgender, was still married to who's the mom of the Jenner? For the
Kris.
Kardashians.
Chris.
Chris.
Yes.
So the mom, so Kris Jenner, si momager, she was still married to Chris at the time. And then when she was asked for her own SOGIE, she said that she is a lesbian. In the same way, trans men can be homosexual. So
Yes.
if we know of a trans man, I think there is an example. I just forgot his name. But he's someone from the US. So he's transitioned into a trans man, and then when asked for his SOGIE, and he will only have sexual relations with other men, or
Yes.
their gender is male. Okay, so this kind of information, sometimes blows people's minds.
Right.
Yes, yes.
It
Diba?
is overwhelming.
Kasi
sometimes.
it's overwhelming. But then the thing that I realized is when we talk about this, the important thing is, you are you're showing some sort of light to the lives of these people who exist. They don't stop existing anymore. They're not in the fringes. You are actually acknowledging that people have these different kinds of sexual and gender makeups, how they are, and live their experiences as people. To be honest, my own hindi naman understanding, pero parang ang stand ko is, people actually have so many different nuances to their sex and gender.
Right.
Na
Yes.
hindi rin siya, these are just placeholder terms, no?
Yeah.
And that's why we have many different things that we hear. There's LGBTQIA plus. The reason why there's a plus there is to acknowledge that even within these descriptors are many different things that are nuances that can be unique to an individual.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to not acknowledge that idiosyncrasy, that uniqueness, we are, erasing the lived experience of someone. So it's important to always use and acknowledge this in the umbrella term LGBTQIA plus,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Plus.
And because you are giving a visibility, a voice, acknowledging the lived experiences of these people.
Yeah, I have a
My
question though.
contention, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, kasi with the
Lance,
nuances, I've
go
been
ahead.
thinking, I've been hearing a lot of terms like demisexual, pansexual,
Pansexual.
sapiosexual, and aromantic. So would that fall into the
Okay.
person you're sleeping with in bed, or does it come to which
Absolutely.
side? Okay.
Absolutely. So it's under sexuality. Talk about romantic relationships and sexual attraction is all under sexual orientation.
Sexual orientation.
Okay.
So it's all under there. So being a pansexual means you can have sexual relationships with all kinds of genders. So there, if someone says that I am non-binary, a pansexual would fall in love with that person, or sorry, will have sexual relations with that person. Not necessarily falling in love. Kasi, okay, so I'm still learning, to be honest, because sexuality and being romantic is also two different things. Okay?
Yes, yes. It's confusing
this
sometimes.
is the reason why there are asexual people and aromantic people.
Yes.
You can truly live your life. You can truly live your life. Kasi parang lagi natin sinasabi na parang, talaga ba? Asexual? May ganun ba talaga? Na parang wala talagang kasex-sex tong taong to? Then you realize there are people who live that way. They just absolutely don't have the motivation to have sex or pursue sexual relationships. Diba? They can masturbate, they can think about sex, but they don't want to have sex or pursue sexual relationships.
Yeah, right.
There are also people who are aromantic. They can be sexual, but they will never be in a romantic relationship. So, those are the incredible nuances of human sexual behavior. And to not, recognize each of them is an erasure. So that's what we're trying to do. The reason why we have to discuss these things and try to understand them. Because we might encounter these people and then invalidate them. Yun yung problema eh.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be invalidated as a gay man. I don't want to be invalidated as a transgender woman. Ang dami nagsasabi sa kanya, hindi ka naman babae, hindi ka naman naging nanay. As if women are just, breeding cows. Or
Yes.
Diba? So, parang ang essence lang ba ng babae ay anak? So, hindi na babae yung infertile or yung menopause. How stupid, right? So, you understand that their understanding of womanhood is just, limited to their ability to have or bear a child. Which is, it's very close to, like, a horrific A Handmaid's Tale scenario, if you're familiar with the story of A Handmaid's Tale, where women are just used to be, breeding machines or like animals.
Yeah.
So imagine when we say that, does na-realize nila na parang, oh nga, no? We hope that they change their minds, but sometimes sobrang dikit na sa utak nila na gano'n. But yes.
Sorry. So, just to share with you siguro, parang I have to admit also, I came out when I was in first year college. I was in Manila. I was in this Catholic university. So, alam mo na yung constraints, no? And so, it was kind of difficult for me because someone asked me, what are you? Are you gay? Ang sinabi ko lang, parang, malambot lang kasi puso ko, but alam ko deep in me who I really am. So, alam kong attracted ako sa lalaki. And then at that time, parang I really had limited knowledge about, the spectrum, to be honest with you, right? Ang alam ko lang is either binary, babae lalaki ka, or straight, hetero, or bakla ka. Yun lang talaga yung konsepto ko at that time. And every time bisexuality is brought up, no, ang nasa utak ko talaga lagi ay nako, ano lang yan, paminta lang yan, confused lang yan, bakla pa rin yan. So, and then lately ko lang talaga siya na-embrace yung concept, no? And then knowing LGBTQIA+, the entire spectrum, yun nga parang good thing that you highlighted that because I think everybody needs that, even myself, no, I really need to embrace the concept, na we are really on a spectrum. So yun, thank you so much.
Yeah, and then I'd like to mention, ako muna ikaw.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Kasi
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's also one thing that I learned, because I've been watching Kalat Hours with the Kalat crew with John, and there's one thing he mentions a lot na I am pansexual for now. So that could change through time, di ba? So you could be pan today, but you could be bi tomorrow, you could be gay tomorrow, because it all depends on experiences. So yun lang gusto ko i-highlight. Because I think people put us in a box na saying, you're just gay, you're just this, you're just that. And you cannot change, kumbaga.
And it's very good that you mentioned that, because that's actually one of the things, that's actually the thing that I wanted to mention. I think it was very good, Dice, that you mentioned that we don't want to invalidate anyone's experience or anyone's sexuality, because I think it's still going to evolve. I mean, right now we may have LGBTQIA+, but then there might be more to that in the future. Because I think what's happening is that people are evolving. I mean, we're not in a constant state of, equanimity or status quo, right? I mean, even before in olden times, etc., there were just binary sexes, right? But then over time, people realize that they're not just straight or they're not just gay. I mean, they are sort of like outside of that particular box. But because the labels that we had then were just two, you either put yourself here or here, right? And some people feel confined by that particular label because it doesn't truly define who they are. Yeah. And I think the reason why we are sort of like encountering more sexualities these days is because we are just starting to, let's say, talk about these things. We're just starting to learn about these things. Because before, if there were just two boxes, you would fit yourself in that box and you would try to sort of like mold your experience into that particular box. But no, since we are more vocal about it, we're more aware of it, and people are speaking up more about it, then we know that, oh, okay, it's not just that. There's also this and this and this and this. So I guess what I'm coming from is parang, it is very true that we shouldn't invalidate anyone's experience. And I myself have been guilty of that as well. I admit that because I'm human. And I've grown up with these labels that other people have put on us. But now we are taking back those labels and we are creating labels for ourselves, because now we are telling the world that this is my experience, this is who I am. So I really, really appreciate that. If there's anyone out there and you feel that you're this type or that type, don't be afraid. Let us know, declare it to the world, so that we would also know how to treat you, because we don't want to invalidate you. That's it.
Exactly. Thank you, Mikey. Actually, this is really just born out of the labels are born. You know how bad it got when they say, ayoko ma-label. Why it's all labels? Why is it LGBTQIA, B, C, D hanggang Z? Parang, okay, first of all, diba? First of all, do not mock the self-determination of someone who has thought of himself and nag-isip siya, indulge siya yung sarili niya na pag-isipan ko kung ano talaga ako. And I found out this is where and who I most, who I realize who I am. And this is how I'm going to call myself, and this is my self-determination. So then the better way to engage with these people when they say that they have self-determined as such is they realize, okay, so saan siya nanggagaling? May I know? I want to be educated. If he or she says this way, or they say this way, what are they trying to say to me? Where are they coming from? And with my own sense of empathy, how am I going to best understand their lived experience? No? So when they say na it's all labels, why not? To me, why the hell not? Diba? The attitude towards labels must change. Because noon ang nasa isip natin is it's just a box that it limits us, etc. Nothing limits us more than saying that how you self-determine is invalid. diba? I think that's the worst limit when you are invalidated. And
Yeah.
labels are not the worst limits. They're not the worst boxes to be in. The worst boxes are still discrimination, abuse,
Yes.
outright violence and harm that the LGBT experience every day. So I'd rather have somebody say na I am happy to be labeled this way because I have self-determined that this is who I am.
Okay.
And my basic expectation is that my self-determination is respected. So
Right.
yun yung wish ko. To be honest, we will never need these labels if the world understood that no one must
Right.
have the same exact experience sexually and gender-wise as you are. Yung sinasabi ko kanina sa
Okay.
inyo na it's for as many humans there are in the world, there must be as many sexual and gender experiences that exist. Ganun siya ka-broad, you know?
Yeah.
A certain person can still label his or himself or themselves as such and such, but there are certain nuances pa rin dun sa taong yun at paiba-iba siya sa iba-ibang tao. And the point that we want to be in is wala na tayong kailangan sabihin ganito kasi naintindihan na ng lahat na yung pagsa-self-determine ng tao ay it's just that. Yun lang talaga yun. Yung paghahanap niya ng identity, sexual or gender-wise, is unique, and the basic expectation is we should respect it for as long as it also doesn't invalidate our own self-determination. No? So, yun yung lesson na gusto ko talagang laging sinasabi. Ganun dapat tayo ka-democratic in terms of how we accept and understand sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. Do you have any more questions? Are your minds blown? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Yes,
If you want to share, ask me, shoot me your question.
Yeah. Kasi parang, now to think of that, I think I'm more, to call this sapio-romantic, pero but I'm more gay when it comes to bed, when it comes to doing it. Pero romance-wise, I think I could fall for a girl or a guy, but I won't fuck a girl, kumbaga. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So parang there's different nuances.
Yeah. So why do you, like sometimes, okay, I self-identify as a gay man, for example, no? But then you are, there's a girl na parang, I can be romantic. Parang, I'm getting a crush on this girl. Parang, bet ko siya in a way.
Laura
Pero hindi ko
Alcantara.
naman siya tusorbahin.
Rachel Coates.
Rachel Coates.
Go, Ange.
Go, Ange.
Just having girl crushes.
Adriana, so
Does that make me a bisexual if I'm having girl crushes?
Okay. So, a huge part of romantic attraction doesn't necessarily translate to sexual attraction. So, maybe you are biromantic. You are bi in the romantic sense, but your sexuality remains to be straight. Or iba na rin yung definition kasi when you say straight and then queer or something else, there's a school of thought that thinks of queerness and being straight, or homosexuality and straightness as a spectrum, and then there's a level to it, right? The Kinsey scale. So there's a scale where the spectrum, the other end is completely gay, and the other scale end is completely straight.
Yep.
And some people are in between, and okay, so this is not standard. This is just another way of how developmental scientists, social scientists try to explain the breadth of the human sexual and gender experience. So you can definitely say, maybe if you study it enough and then realize na, I'm within the spectrum. I am 9, or like I'm on a 9 on the Kinsey scale. I'm a little bit gay, but mas
Nico is 10% straight.
Ayun
Nico is
pala.
10% straight.
So,
10% straight. Oo.
You took a quiz, right?
ay, Thais, yung minention mong scale, I think that's the same scale I was talking about before, Mikey. So, naging natawanan, parang it was a source of like, parang joke sa team namin, Thais. Kasi sinabi ko na I took the test.
Okay.
And sabi ko, I took it to heart. Tapos parang ang naging dating, parang ako naging taguro. Na parang, nag-increase na 20% ka na. Yung ganon. And I'm like, hala, nakaka-offend pa yun. Naisip ko tuloy, sige, pagpatawan na lang kayo dyan. But it's not the case. Yun, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, so you're right, and I will allay your fears, Nico. I'm sorry that you had to carry that for some time. Na ganun yung tingin mo sa sexuality, as if you had to do something and 10% is added to your straightness. You know, parang is buying a good pair of basketball shoes plus 5% to the straightness. Parang ganun, di ba? So then that's the reason why that scale isn't actually wholly accurate. Because you know, hindi naman nagbabago-bago ng na-assign natin ng percentage ang sexuality, no? A lot of it can change in a snap, a lot of it can change in a long kind of way, dragged on, understanding, etc. So we don't tignan mo ang effect kay Nico. It became a butt of like the you know I hope a caring kind of banter from his friends na parang masyado niyang tinake to heart yung results ng quiz niya. But ay nung scale. But we don't want this to be experienced. Mas gusto natin na democratic and mas more you know, I think there's a lot more freedom than we feel is allowed in terms of talking about sex and gender. Like Ange, when she says, I have a crush on a girl, does that make me bi?
Actually, doon natanong ko kasi I'm gay but I have a crush on a girl. So parang, wait, what am I?
Or Lance, there's also gay men who identify as gay men, but then surprise, they are able to have sex with women and bear children. Diba? So, ano sila? Yun na, diba, parang sinasabi natin na parang, ano to, hindi siya bakla kasi nakipag-sex siya sa babae. Tapos tinanong mo pa siya, did you enjoy it or napilitan ka lang? Kasi, ano mo sasabihin ng bakla na, sasabihin ng gay guy na self-identified gay guy na, hindi, na-enjoy ko eh. Nag-sex kami ng babae. Ha? Tapos na-scandal tayo. Diba? Parang,
the incredulity.
Diba? The incredulity. Parang, why? How? Parang, you've already gone against nature and you're going against what you've gone against.
Guys.
Yes.
May nagsasabi pa na parang, uy, ano ba yung katomboyan na yan? And isip ko, hala, hindi talaga siya nakakatawa. Ako, I must admit, minsan sinasabi ko siya out of pagpatawa na lang. Pero parang thinking about it, parang hindi siya talaga nakakatawa din eh. Kasi diba? Yeah, still. Yeah.
But I think that's the thing. Parang we grew up with these kinds of verbiage, with these kinds of jokes, and it's somehow sort of like, it's becoming ingrained in us as well, right? So we didn't really think of it in terms of microaggressions, or we didn't really think of it in terms of negative, because I mean we got used to them so much, and we've sort of like as a people, again this resiliency thing, but we try to just laugh off everything that offends us. We just laugh off everything that is uncomfortable or awkward or things we don't like, because that's expected of us as Filipinos. But I think yun nga, parang now that we are talking about it more, we're discovering more, I think these things are now becoming also clearer to us in terms of whether they are positive or negative in any form or way.
I completely agree. A huge part of how we deal and navigate our own sexual experiences is still how we've been introduced to it through our cultures. And a huge isa sa mga pinaka-advocacy ko personally in LGBT QIA plus work or concerns is always media representation. So I'm so I'm so worried always that we're regressing in terms of media representation, and it's very important that we take a lot of this back. No, I think since a lot of how I always explained myself, it's always through that. Kasi na-realize ko, grabe yung influence sa atin talaga ng media. A huge part of why, a huge part kung bakit takot ka na pagtawanan ka nung bata ka dahil bakla ka, kasi ang understanding ng mga magulang natin or mga mas nakakatanda sa atin na napanood lang nila sa TV yung portrayal ng bakla as nakakatawa.
Yep.
Or somebody who should be a sidekick to somebody else and will never amount to anything.
Right.
Or or somebody who is physically na abuse, no? Like for example, pag nagsasabi ng chika yung character sidekick na bakla, nasasapak, or like pinagtatawanan kasi pangit na nga siya, natumba pa, nagtatapilok pa, or siya yung binabastos, tapos okay na. So, yung ganong klaseng portrayals, napakasasama. At yun yung reason na bakit yung magulang mo would say na, for example, si Lance, no, growing up, probably, Lance, huwag kang babakla-bakla kasi magiging ganyan ka, kagaya ng niya.
Huwag kang sumama doon.
Actually been there.
Huwag ka diba? O see? So, it's a common experience to a lot of Filipinos kasi it's a direct result of what people see in media, and that's what I've always wanted to change and improve.
Pero I have a question on that.
Go, Lance.
Kasi let's say in current media right now, kasi I think there's still some that would fall in the same trap of putting our fellow LGBTQA++ into caricatures or into thirsty hoes, kumbaga. So, and they're saying that it's based off on reality. So how do you retrain or reprogram that, especially when they're saying na it's just a portrayal or reflection of what reality is? Like, ito yung nagiging itsura ng, this is how we see, or this is how they show how the gayness is, or how the trans women are in this reality. But it's represented in media.
So you should interrogate why they chose that amongst the many lived experiences of gay men, women, and transgenders. Kasi, bakit yung funny, yung gusto lang nila? Flesh, it's true enough. In reality, some gays are funny, some lesbians are funny, but some gays are not.
True.
Flesh out probably a character, kasi minsan yung character ng gay funny lang sa every single time. So, diba, I mean, like, walang katapusan yung pagko-comedy niya kasi yung talagang character. In fact, a fully formed gay human will never be funny every time. Diba? So, create characters. It can be boring. It can be incredibly boring. My God. Like, some of my friends like would say na parang buti ka pa masaya yung buhay mo. Then, like, sabi ko, bakit hindi ba masaya buhay mo? Well, hindi, boring lang ako eh. Kasi dito lang yung ano ko. Sabi ko, hindi yan sa... Diyan ka masaya eh. Masaya din yung buhay mo in your own sense. So, parang... you know, that's what I say. When it's a stereotype, yes, it's all right to be shown a stereotype because that's reality. But don't show me the stereotype as the wholeness of that person.
Right.
Yes.
That's incorrect portrayal already. A stereotype would be a parlorista who is the sunshine of the community. Or the gay, if he's a gay man, parlorista siya, masayahin siyang tao. He has to be social because his business rests a lot on how he relates to his customers. So you have the stereotype of a masayahin parlorista, mahadera, colorful, etc. But then to always show this kind of portrayal, yun lang yung kabuuan niya, and you don't delve into the many things that worries the parlorista. Businessman siya. Ang galing pala niya sa math, but that is not shown in his portrayal. You know, he's very good in business pala. I mean, ang galing niyang magbalanse ng mga negosyo niya. That will never be shown in the portrayal. He will always just be a funny, loud person in the street. Parang ganon. Or caring pala siya na parang foster parent to a kamag-anak, anak ng kamag-anak, di ba? Which is a lot of it happens in Philippine culture. Meron pala siyang strong familial bonds. Siya pala yung breadwinner sa probinsya na nagpapadala pala siya ng pera. You know? So, stereotypes are welcome to be seen because these are reflections of real portrayals of real individuals. But if you stick to that kind of portrayal and never show a fully formed character, then you will push the bad side of stereotypes. Nagiging masama na ngayon ang stereotype kasi yun yung dumidikit sa utak ng manonood.
Right.
Okay, segue ko sa SOGIE bill. Ayan.
Yes.
Kasi sa SOGIE bill, parte ng SOGIE bill, ang SOGIE Equality Bill, ang isa sa mga provisions niya is to give incentives to positive portrayals of LGBT in media.
Nice.
So, isn't that nice? If the problem of LGBT discrimination rests and starts so much in what people watch, read, and listen to, na unfair or the portrayals are incorrect. Isn't it nice to incentivize that the state, the Philippines, incentivizes positive portrayals of LGBT? Para kung ang source ng discrimination ay dahil kung ano lang nakikita nila sa media, unti-unti ma-eliminate yan. Because the people or the producers, the ones who are producing the media, realize na there's incentive. They are incentivized in doing so. If they create positive portrayals of LGBT, they will be incentivized. And if they don't, there's a corresponding penalty because it will be tantamount at some point to discrimination. No? So,
yes.
Don't you just love that they thought of it that way? Na hindi lang the SOGIE Equality Bill isn't just punitive. Hindi lang siya punishment ang hinahanap niya para sa mga taong nakakamiss ng ganito. Kundi, kung saan yung punot dulo. Saan tayo nanonood kung bakit na-form yung discriminatory selves natin. Nasan ba natin? Because discrimination is taught, guys.
Yes,
Hindi siya, bigotry is taught. You will have to teach a child to hate and to fear an experience, no? So yun. Okay.
I think that's very good because one of the things that we want, especially these days, and because of the boom of the BL series, is that, and we have been talking about this in our BL reviews, is that positive and appropriate and accurate representation is very, very important. Because as you mentioned, previously in media representation for the LGBTQIA plus community, it's always been negative. Like it's always been tragic. Like you have a love story, but then one of them dies, or they both die, or they're thrown out of the house, or they kill a congressman. So it's always been like that. So that is why it is very important, because I think one of the main reasons why a lot of our a lot of our community, or a lot of our fellow countrymen still have this sort of like very narrow view about sexuality and what we want and what we are as a community, is because they only have these images to go by. So if they are given, let's say, representation, or if they are given a more accurate and more humanistic, holistic view of the community, then they will be better able to understand. They will better, I guess, realize that we are just the same as them. We're no different.
Mm-hmm. That's right, completely. So that's what I like about what's happening with the BL wave, no? Because it's an opportunity. Nako, mahabang usapan, pero it's an opportunity. Para mabilis lang for now. It's an opportunity. Yeah, it's a jump off to a different conversation, but very quickly, it's an opportunity for Filipino gay men, basically, or men who think that they are in a spectrum, or like sexuality wise, or romantically, they can have homo romantic or homosexual relationships, no? So these kinds of things, when they see it most on screen, they're able to process and then realize na, okay, I see somebody who's like me on screen. Who I am must not be wrong, and it's not just me who's experiencing this. Because being in visual media is a huge deal. But of course,
Right.
as Filipinos, it's a cultural experience. Nasa YouTube ka nga lang ang tawag sa'yo artista na, di ba? Ganun yung
na.
the influencer na, di ba? Ganun yung mga katawagan. But then, so that's why it's very important. Sige, we might need to just go to the SOGIE bill just so that the people who are watching and waiting for us to discuss this are able to follow us with our discussion. So I'll start. Seminar pala to, guys. Pasensya na ha. Hindi ko na inantay na magkaroon kayo. Talaga. Okay.
Laban.
Labahan? Okay, sige.
Laban.
Thank you for the platform, guys. Anyway, so let's start. Okay, the SOGIE Equality Bill in its most earliest form actually started or was presented in Congress 20-odd years ago. Some say it's 21 years, some say it's 20 years.
Yes.
But it's been so long. 1999 or the year 2000. I have a brother who's 20 years old, guys, and that's how old the fight for anti-discrimination on the basis of being LGBTQIA+ has been going on in our Congress, both houses of Congress. So sa 20 plus years na yon, imagine all progressive party lists, individuals, congressmen and women have put forward many versions of the bill. Every single iteration of Congress for the last 21 years.
Wow.
We only had a breakthrough in 2017-2018 session of the Philippine Congress, when in 2017 Geraldine Roman was part already of the Congress. She's our first transgender representative, elected representative, and but the main bill was it was championed by Geraldine Roman, but the bill was actually filed, and the main convener of this in the House was Rep. Kaka Bagao, who is now the governor of Dinagat Islands. So in their term, nung time nila sa Congress, they put this forward, and for medyo nag-perfect storm, no? Everyone was had different ideas about the bill, and naipasa nila sa House, sa plenary. In 2018, in that year, ang tawag ko sa kanya ay Anti-Discrimination Bill, ADB. So, naipasa nila sa House, and it was transmitted to the Senate for the first time in almost 20 years, in 2018. So, grabe, sobrang laking achievement nun, no, na pumasa siya sa plenary ng House of Representatives, tapos napunta sa Senate. Pagdating sa Senate, it was blocked by, the amazing Tito Soto.
Pangalanan yan.
On the basis, pangalanan ko. Sorry, wala naman.
Totoo naman.
Totoo naman. It was blocked by the Senate President Tito Soto at that time kasi tawag dito, he said from his own mouth na not in my turn. Not in this basically not until he is a Senate President. Senate President, yeah. So if he's still there, it cannot be allowed. Parang ganun yung threat niya. Syempre ang reason nun is because of his Christian belief. And kasabay na niya sina Pacquiao, who called the LGBT, I know,
Pacquiao.
right? Who called the LGBT less
Yeah.
than animals, worse than animals.
You're right.
Who else? Joel Villanueva, who's part of Jesus is Lord. Ang daming those who claim that they are against it because of religious
Yeah.
reasons. No? So that's the time the bill died again. So we had a breakthrough, but it died in the Senate. And then we're, of course, because there's one thing about gay men, women, LGBT people, we never surrender. We don't back down. We
Yeah.
filed it again in the new Congress. Diba? So 2008, 2019, 2020 Congress, it's filed again as the SOGIE Equality Bill. So this is the current form of the bill. This handout, this primer was provided by us by Pantay. Pantay is the Philippine Anti-Discrimination Alliance of Youth Leaders. So Pantay is more of a human rights based organization, but heavily leans towards rights for the LGBT. They are led by, of course, youth leaders, and they're a national organization. I want to say hi if Vince is watching us, Vince Liban, who is the national convener of Pantay. Pantay's work is the reason why we have local government legislation that protects LGBTQIA+. So sila yung nangunguna. They are the ones who help local governments craft their own anti-discrimination bills.
Right.
So they were successful recently in Manila. So the ordinance that Mayor Isko Moreno signed was created with the help of Pantay. So that's their parang I don't know. It's their mandate, no? As an organization to create these ordinances, help local governments create ordinances to protect LGBTQIA+ from discrimination. Actually, hindi lang yun. So, nagtumutulong din sila sa ibang mga rights-based discrimination like yung safe spaces law, women's rights, children's rights, etc. So, yun. So, here's what Pantay gave us. Knowing more about the SOGIE Equality Bill. So, it addresses the problem of discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. And most importantly, it assigns appropriate penalties for such discriminatory practices. So, hindi lang siya pag-acknowledge what SOGIE is, but also penalties for discrimination.
Okay.
This primer is used to acquaint the reader of the basic features and functions of the SOGIE Equality Bill. So, terms and concepts. We've discussed this, no? The first thing, of course, is to define what SOGIE is, and then define what SOGIE-based discrimination is. No? So, gender identity, diniscuss na natin. It's our personal sense of identity, being male, female, or non-binary, considered as manifestations of gender identity. Sexual orientation is the direction of emotional or sexual attraction or conduct. Examples of this include terms like straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and asexual. Discrimination is defined as the distinction, exclusion, restriction, or preference which is based on any ground and which has the purpose or effect of nullifying or impairing the recognition, access to, enjoyment, or exercise by all persons on an equal footing of all rights and freedoms. Ang ganda ng definition ng discrimination, no? Parang talagang comprehensive na pag ako nilimitahan, there's a purpose or effect to restrict, nullify, or impair access to or even enjoyment of my personal rights and of my rights and freedoms, which are supposed to be inalienable. That is called discrimination. Discrimination. So, ayun guys. So, that's the basic terms that you need to know when you talk about the SOGIE Equality Bill. So parang mabilis lang.
Yeah, there's a video, di ba, na kumakalat na there's this elder woman throwing a stone at
Si Aling Susan.
yes, Susan. So she, like yung nabatuhan,
that mad woman.
yeah, that mad woman. Kung nabatuhan, like I was the one walking. Let's say I was the one walking, so I can sue Aling Susan already on that grounds.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, okay. So in this sense, well, actually, we can go back to the primer, no? I-pull up lang natin ito. Mabilis. So, there are penalties. Yun yung kasunod na discussion sa primer. So, if passed, can we zoom out a little bit? Yeah, there. If passed, existing women and children's desks, because there are violence against women and children desks in police stations. These and police stations and actually all government. It's supposed to be all government offices must have a women's and children's desk. Will attend to the cases covered by the act. So we're included here. You know why? Because SOGIE exists for everyone.
Yes.
Isa yun sa mga contentions ng mga nagpa-fight for the SOGIE Equality Bill. The reason why it's called SOGIE Equality Bill is because all of us have it, and it acknowledges our equality sa isa't isa. No? So we have all determined earlier, even cisgender straight individuals have SOGIE because na-describe nga nila yung mga sarili nila na ganun eh.
Correct. That's how they identify themselves as.
Exactly. So,
actually,
yeah.
Sorry, yun yung naka-surprise din sa akin, and I think that's also a misconception for everyone. That SOGIE bill is mostly for queer people, but what we don't realize, because discrimination here is defined as something general and everyone can have their own identity or orientation. So if you are a straight male and you are discriminated for a role, you identify yourself as a male, as a straight male, and you are discriminated for a role because of being male, and even if you're a female, and you are discriminated for being female, so that means it will apply to them as well.
Right.
Yes.
It does.
Yes. So this is okay. Dati kasi ang pangalan nito is Anti-Discrimination Bill. But then the crafters of the bill wanted to really highlight the reason why it is a bill for everyone. So how do you do that? So sinasabi mo na, okay, on the basis of SOGIE, not just on the basis of like, pwede mo sabihin kasi on the basis of gender eh. But you cannot define the broad, you know, pinag-usapan na natin yung spectrum ng sexual orientation and gender kanina. Pag sinabi mong gender discrimination against gender discrimination lang, that's very narrow. There's so many na pwede mong protektahan, di ba? So why not protect all and extend it to everyone?
Correct.
The reason why this is just important to LGBT, actually nakakatawa nga nung kasi nung change daw yung name ng Anti-Discrimination Bill into SOGIE Bill, tinanong ng mga elderly na mga lawmakers na, nagbago na pala ang tawag sa LGBT? Ano ba yung SOGIE? Bagong acronym ba yan? Tapos ako parang, oh my God. Kasi imagine, kailangan natin silang i-educate talaga kasi sila yung boboto for us eh, di ba? But then, this is how they understood. Akala nila isang namang katawagan sa LGBT. Akala nila yung SOGIE, ang G doon ay gay. So sabi nung, ano yung O? Ano yung S? Ganun yung so, parang,
super sexual?
di ba? Parang super sexual. What? So anyway, so yes, you're right. There will be penalties for discriminatory practices and discriminatory practices against gay, even straight cisgender individuals. Kasi you can be discriminated on the basis of your sexual orientation and gender, kahit ano pa yan. Diba? So, and then there are penalties for it. Ibig sabihin, lalagyan natin ng pangil yung batas. You can be fined and you can be imprisoned. Pero, ito yung isa sa mga gustong i-highlight ng mga crafters ng bill. Actually, marami sa mga nakasulat sa SOGIE Equality Bill, kung babasahin mo talaga siya ng buo, no? Yung specific penalties hindi ganong kadami yung fine at hindi gaanong karami ang imprisonment. Mas marami ang punishment na human rights-based community service. Na anong tawag, reformative, no? They want to reform and educate somebody who has committed form of discrimination. Like for example, microaggression or verbal discrimination ang nangyari. Walang physical na anything, no? But that hurts mental and emotional ng yung victim ng discrimination, no? Instead of threatening this person with imprisonment, we want to reform this person's idea of what they just did. Na bakit nila nasabi verbally yung discriminatory statement na yon. So this person might be invited, required by law once found guilty, to attend 2 months worth of weekend seminars that they will be trained or parang discuss nila kung ano yung mali dun sa ginawa nila.
Okay.
Imagine yung ganung klaseng reformative, hindi siya punishment na pera o pagkulong agad, no?
Yeah.
Isisik natin na mabago yung kung paano niya iniisip o kung bakit masama yung ginawa niya. Ma-realize niya at ma-reform siya. So, marami kasing nakakulong ngayon na hindi nakaka-experience ng reformative yung mga things na reformative, no? Kasi minsan wala nang budget, sobrang daming nakakulong, pinakulong na lang diyan, wala namang ano.
True.
Alam mo 'yun? So itong ating law, ang punishment kasi penalty is more on human rights-based community service, which is reformative. A lot of it is going to be either volunteer ka sa isang home for the aged na pang-Becky. So magvo-volunteer ka for 2 months sa Golden Gaze.
Golden Gaze.
Parang kung hindi ba naman yan makapagbago ng isip mo, di ba?
True.
Makakita ka ng you see the lived experience of the people you just discriminated against. I think that has more impact than just locking somebody up for 1 week and then paglabas niya mas lalo siyang nagalit.
That's right.
Kasi hindi niya naiintindihan yung ginawa niya.
That's right.
Yes.
Diba? So,
Sorry.
if you want... Yes, Pat.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
I've been reading about the SOGIE bill, and I've seen a few members of the LGBTQ community who are against the SOGIE bill. They're saying that the anti-discriminatory bill actually covers some provisions of the current SOGIE bill. If that's the case, what were the amendments in the current SOGIE bill that were not included in the anti-discriminatory bill, which was not passed to the Senate?
Okay. So let's clear many things first, no? So what you're saying is there was an anti-discrimination bill before.
Yes.
That's okay, diba? And then there were certain provisions right now that exist in the SOGIE equality bill that were not there or were there and were removed. Yun ba yung...
Yeah.
Okay, so
Actually.
so there were changes. May mga nangyaring changes. So yes, there are changes to it. Mainly because isa na yun yung change towards a more reformative form of penalty. Pero marami din ang inclusions ng, like for example, a little bit is more medyo controversial yung pag-acknowledge na discrimination ang hindi ka makapasok ng certain school. Dahil you are going to be forced to wear a different uniform or forced to cut your hair.
Yes.
Yes.
So medyo medyo point of contention siya ng ilang kasi how strongly can a law be enforced to private institutions na nagde-determine talaga ng gender specific uniform rules or like pagpugupit ng buhok, a certain look. The proponents of the bill say that it's important to recognize that these are actually discriminatory practices, even if private
Institution.
companies, private schools, institutions can determine kung anong gusto nila, sa kung anong, rules ang gusto nilang i-determine. For as long as it doesn't contradict national laws. So, yung for as long as it doesn't contradict national laws, dun sila maiipit. Yun yung gusto natin na ma-realize nila na you can continue on. Aminin nila natin, it's a discriminatory practice. Ayaw nilang nagawin na, kasi parang it's against your being a Christian school, diba? So it's against your parang values as a Christian school. But then you realize, it's discriminatory. Kaya kami dyan, kung, sa tingin nyo, moral o immoral, huwag niyong ipasok yung tingin nyo ng paggupit ng buhok ng mahaba sa lalaki at ang pagsuot ng transgender woman ng kung anong naaayon na uniform sa kanya will affect in any way how they study. What will affect it is if hindi nyo pinasunod yun kasi hindi na tuloy sila makakapag-socialize properly kasi they're not happy with what they look like. They cannot fully express who they are. So, but it's a point of contention and we agree with that. Ako, my own, yes, Ange.
I have an additional question.
Yeah.
Actually, I totally support it at first reading, but I guess there are certain provisions that I think I would need more understanding. And maybe some have the misunderstandings as well. For example, in the employment provision of the bill, please correct me if I'm wrong. But it states there that the SOGIE may not be used as a criteria for hiring employees. But I want to actually clarify then if this also hinders employers from having a preference. Like for example, the owner of a manufacturing company would prefer a male candidate, for example, for their warehouse staff because in general physical attributes nila are parang would be a plus in terms of work performance. So strictly as the SOGIE bill is concerned, would that be considered wrong already?
Okay. Very, very good question, Ange. Because a lot of the criticism against the SOGIE bill actually rests on those kinds of reasons, no? Yung ability ng private institutions na mag-determine kung ano yung what they think is valid on their own set of criteria. For example, hiring practices. So, is limiting males and dahil yung parang kung saan dapat gumagalaw yung pang lalaki lang, is it already discriminatory? In its strictest sense, Ange, it is. Kasi sinabi na natin na parang you are only you're saying that this is the only reason that you're picking men over female is if you think that the female characteristics cannot hindi siya match dun sa magiging trabaho niya. No? But ito kasi yun. How serious and how far has your industry studied ability in terms of like exclusively male lang talaga ang kaya dun sa na yun, no? And it might be just a reason of so many things. Like, ang dami nating discrimination against women workers na na-experience, they are completely capable of doing a job role, pero hindi sila hina-hire kasi ayaw ng employer ng, ay, naku, mabubuntis yan.
Mabubuntis yan.
Mabubuntis. 9 months, maternity leave, tapos maghahanap na naman tayo ng tao. Ano yan? Nag-hire pa tayo. O, kita mag-hire ng babae. Maraming ganon. Maraming ganon.
So sort of in that scenario, I can apply the SOGIE bill as well if parang that company doesn't want to hire me in that role.
Okay. So, mabuti ka pa, Ange, because you are a woman, no? Described as a woman. Kasi meron tayong Magna Carta for Women. That specific Magna Carta for Women protects you from those kinds of discriminatory hiring processes
Right.
will not allow you to join a company dahil pag nalaman mo na hindi ka hinar dahil mabubuntis ka, 9 months, ganyan, lalo na nalaman nila, uy, bagong kasal si Ange. Tapos sa interview, hiring mo, no, interview, Ange, are you planning to have a family within the next few because we really need you for this role in 3 months. Like, talagang solid 3 months dapat nandito ka sa role na to. Within the next year, you have to be, because wink, wink, regularization. Ganun siya.
Right.
Diba? Tapos mafe-feel mo, anong nasa isip nitong taong to? Bago akong kasal, oo, may plano akong magkapamilya, pero bakit sa tingin niya hindi ko kayang gawin yun? Or dahil ba, pag nabuntis ako, wala ako ng 9 months? The Magna Carta for Women protects you from those kinds of employment discriminatory practices. But the thing here, Ange, is I am also a woman. And in that Magna Carta of women, I am not there. Me being a transgender does not exist in that kind of
Here.
And that's the main reason why we have to be defined as lesbian, gay, transgender, IA plus in the law so that I can claim the same when I am also discriminated.
Right.
That is what you call equality.
I have a follow-up question. What about jobs, I guess, that require a certain gender expression? Like, it's, you know what I mean, but like it's already part of their job. Does it also become illegal? Like, for example, ang naisip ko lang ngayon, flight attendants. Parang they are required or trained to act feminine if they're female, or parang they're trained to behave in a certain type of way. Once this bill is passed, how will that work?
Okay. Ito kasi yung itong mindset ang gusto kong ma-change. I completely get what where you're coming from, Ange. And, this is the fear of many people. But here's the mindset that what I want you to, whoever's watching and you guys, am I hiring to discriminate, or am I hiring to get the very best person for the job?
Yes.
If I am saying that my worry is baka malimit, my hiring practices will be illegal, then maybe truly your hiring practice is discriminatory.
Right.
You're saying that why there's a certain gender expression needed for flight attendants, for example. Flight attendants have been in both genders, but there's of course preferences in terms of gaano kadami, etc., etc. But even the ceilings for flight attendants have already been broken. There's male and female already. There's trans women, flight attendants. Diba?
Yes.
But very few companies, have this kind of leeway or do not discriminate against gender in their hiring practices. Here's the thing though, here's my challenge. Kung yun ang iniisip ng employer na, hindi na ako. Classically, gusto ko lang ng mga taong ganito lang itsura, ganito lang hulma. Yung nasa Twitter isang araw was like, macho lang ang gusto kong i-hire. Macho lang. So parang ako, okay, maybe think of it this way. Employer, kaka-discriminate mo, you are probably missing on the very best talent of someone.
Here.
A talent, ability, genius of somebody just because you discriminated against their sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression.
Right.
What if this person wears, a skirt and puts on makeup every day, but his gender identity is male and is actually gay? He's just like really effeminate. Like, gusto lang niyang, femme lang talaga siya and loves to express himself that way. But your job is in a library of it's something that's very banal, very, supposed to be.
The history of anthropology.
Diba? Parang ganon.
Ganon.
So how do you, diba? But this person has, is a genius in information science and can help you modernize your library and, and you're missing out on this candidate kasi nung pumasok siya sa interview, naka-hot pink, putok na makeup siya. Diba?
So, yung hair, ganun.
Diba? You as an employer, your company is missing out if you discriminate against the LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
If you are truly hiring for the best talent, and then the best talent apparently is a lesbian who presents masculine, then you must not force this lesbian to wear makeup or to be feminine, to wear your uniform, which is feminine. Diba? You believe in your hire so much, enough to say, I respect you, and you must be in the most comfortable self, so you can perform the best that you can for my company, and that's the reason why I'm hiring you. I will allow you, or I will most absolutely support you, what you are, for as long as you can fulfill the role that I hired you for.
Yep.
Galing.
Correct. Siguro, parang the learning that I got is that employers should identify what attributes or skills are really essential to a job, and they should recognize that these skills, these competencies, or even attributes can lie in a person regardless of his or her identification or expression.
Yes.
Parang ganun.
Here.
Yes.
Right.
So kung yun ang problema, baguhin yung hiring practice niya.
Exactly.
Diba?
Exactly.
Huwag niyong ilagay sa, diba? Yun yung dapat, diba? And the thing is, then the reason when they ask, hindi, gusto lang namin ng then magbo-boil down na, mag-root cause analysis ka, no? Bakit ayaw ba niya talaga ng, ganong klaseng candidate? Then you realize, bigot pala siya. He can't bear to see somebody look that way in the office. At yun lang, even if this person is completely competent.
Yep.
Diba?
Yep.
So,
Yes.
when you say na parang, is it okay kung meron talagang ganitong classic requirement ang job? Interrogate first. Totoo bang requirement yun?
True.
Diba?
Yeah, and I saw a glimpse of that sa office din namin na parang there was one of the trans na who was, what do you call this? Discriminated on the floor. So everyone saw that happening. Next day, the one who discriminated the trans was cut off the company. So parang that sent a powerful message sa aming lahat. So parang you're here to support. That's good. And we've been seeing some in the bathroom. It's fun to you'll be seeing anyone across the bathrooms. Parang, I think the one when we saw that, when we saw that the yung signs ng bathrooms were all changing, parang, oh, that's good, finally.
Yeah.
Parang we've been fighting now. We're not handicapped anymore, kumbaga.
Right.
Yeah. The thing that I have an idea of what the company you're describing, Lance, no, because in the recent there's a recent study, a survey, no, conducted by the Philippine LGBT Chamber of Commerce. So there is a Chamber of Commerce that represents business owners, company owners who are LGBT, and they had a national study of companies in the Philippines.
Okay.
Not one local company has a anti-discrimination on the basis of being LGBT in place.
Wow.
Not one local company. So the company you're describing, Lance, is probably a multinational or a BPO.
Yes. Yes.
Which follows the country they are from, yung gender LGBT protections nila dun for non-discrimination, because there's a non-discrimination clause. Yun yung sinasabi namin worried yung mga company sa Pilipinas, and lalo na yung mga tao, parang especially yung mga katakataka pa na nagtatrabaho sa BPO. Your BPO actually already has these protections, and even much stricter. Kasi pwede kang patalpikin the next day pag naging discriminatory ka.
Yeah.
Diba?
Code of ethics.
So,
right.
Diba? They don't realize this. Meron na silang anti-discriminatory, even stronger anti-discriminatory rules sa employee handbooks ng mga BPO and sa mga multinationals, no? So, what you've experienced, Lance, is your company working for you, basically. The thing is, we do not have the same protections from local Filipino companies. Imagine that.
Yeah,
And
true.
their
I know.
reason is not a surprise. You know why? Ang sagot nila sa Philippine LGBT Chamber of Commerce, bakit wala kayong anti-discrimination policies for your employees? Sabi ng company, kasi wala namang batas sa Pilipinas about it.
Hence
this.
SOGIE bill.
Hence, the most important piece of legislation probably that I would want to see passed in my lifetime.
Yes,
Kasi,
please.
Imagine, 21 years old na ang bill na to. Hindi pa rin magawa-gawang batas. So, my best example or my best, yung sinishare ko the last time I was talking about this was the Animal Welfare Act was passed in 1998. How long ago was 1998, guys? Animals, when they are abused and experience trauma, etc., can be imprisoned. Humans who do this to animals can be imprisoned, can be fined, and can be put to justice.
Okay.
But not the LGBT.
Grabe, no?
We cannot claim discrimination against our own sexual orientation and gender identity against the law, so that we can, those who do this against us can be brought to justice. Imagine your puppy can. I have a puppy. He is 3 months old. When he was born, he has more rights than me, who is a transgender.
Grabe.
Imagine that. And a senator dares call us worse than animals.
Oh my gosh.
In that sense, guys, realize that in that sense,
He was very accurate in that sense.
Diba? He
in terms of our rights.
Yeah.
Animals are actually better off than us.
Kaya ayoko panoorin yung boxing matches niya eh. Charot.
Meron pa.
Hindi ko na
Akala ko
Meron pa?
Diba? Ay, wala na siya. Mag-beauty pageant na lang tayo lahat. Wag na boxing, just ko ba?
Not to add fuel to the fire, guys, but I also know that the SOGIE bill is also to protect access to health services, government documents, and government benefits. Because, for example, if two people have been together for, dare say, 11 years, they cannot claim insurance for the other. They cannot claim the rights for the other. They will not be able to claim the body of the other. They will not be able to own property together. They will not be able to enjoy the benefits that a cis or straight couple would be able to enjoy. And this bill will allow them to do that. Allow us to do that.
So, I have a hindi siya bad juice din siguro, pero like just to be pragmatic about this, no? In relation to same-sex relationships and their acknowledgement under the law as civil unions, no? This bill doesn't cover that yet. Okay? This bill doesn't cover that yet. But what's important that this bill allows, or what it will make happen, is the law will finally define what SOGIE is. And then once it is enshrined, it can open us, open a door into, having a marriage equality, actually civil unions lang ang hinihingi natin, diba? Just so that we are protected to own, to have the same rights as married straight cisgender individuals. But what it does cover, Mikey, is kasi yun yung lagi sinasabi ng mga religion na parang,
yes, exactly,
same-sex marriage. Ayan, yan yung SOGIE bill na yan, same-sex marriage na yan. na hindi pa po. Nasaan po yung marriage sa batas na to? Nasaan po yung marriage sa mismong title pa nga eh. Diba? So, wala. This is just, when you explain it, you just tell them that this is an anti-discrimination bill. Okay? This is a bill that will prevent the discrimination specific to SOGIE, which, number one, we all have. Number two, why is important to LGBT? Bakit LGBT yun ang muna? Bakit importante sa kanila? Bakit sila yung maingay? Kasi po, first time sa batas natin na may explain kung ano ang sexual orientation, gender identity at expression. Madedefine siya at mapoprotect siya sa batas. Okay, so we've discussed SOGIE criteria at work. That's what we're seeing in the coverage. So, forced medical and psychological exams. Have you guys heard of conversion therapy?
Yes.
Have you heard of how that incredibly evil practice of conversion therapy? So to those who are watching and listening, conversion therapy means ito yung mga acts or activities that try to convert the LGBT back into straight for whatever manner, pero a lot of this is based on religious backgrounds. Like they want to pray the gay away.
Oh no.
Yun yung they want to pray the gay away. But some are even more dangerous. Some are psychotherapy. Some are, even as bad as electroshock therapy, even as bad as outright violence. No, the worst kind that I have heard and actually I've read about it is when lesbian women, their own family members cannot accept that they're lesbian, and they organize a gang rape. So that to correct the lesbianism out of their female, their daughter. So this is part of those activities, diba? This is part of those activities na dapat ini-enshrine na bawal sa batas. Okay? Because this is not simply rape. This was organized because of the person's gender, sexual orientation, and gender identity.
Right.
Guys,
So, yeah.
sorry, yung ba yung sinasabi ng isang kongresista, yung rehabilitation center for...
Yes!
Yeah.
Tumpak.
Nakakilabot, Beshi!
Kung sino ka man dyan, Diyos ko day. Ah!
Diba? Diyos ko is Lord. Charot. Diyos ko is Lord. Guys, so yung sinabi niya na dapat na lang daw magkaroon ng mga rehabilitation centers for gay and lesbian. Diyos ko is Lord naman. Ano yung kailangan namin i-rehabilitate?
Diba?
Parang, ano po talaga ang, I mean, we understand that you're coming from the religious tenets, whatever, etc. na what this is sinful. Bigay nga namin sa iyo yun kasi you subscribe to that religion. You are also free to exercise your religious freedom. But what you are not free to do is to infringe on my rights.
Yes.
Your right ends where my right begins as well.
Yes.
So, we can live when we realize that equality, there's a call for equality. Gusto natin na we enjoy these rights in the same world. We live in a world where we enjoy these same rights. The thing is, they keep on boxing it as an LGBT thing, and they don't realize na us fighting for this bill is actually also protecting them in the event that they are also discriminated against their SOGIE, diba?
Yes.
The thing is, they're so worried about what they cannot do anymore, instead of being worried that many will be saved from persecution and worse, death,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
and pain and psychological, mental, and
Trauma.
emotional and physical pain and trauma and live
True.
the same way as many individuals has lived their own lives. People who are traumatized, people who are unduly, do you know what Mother Ricky Reyes' position on the LGBT SOGIE equality
Yes.
bill is?
Yes.
Ayaw niya,
yes.
di ba? Kasi
Yeah.
dapat daw lumagay na lang sa tama ang kabaklaan. Tama na yung kabaklaan na yan, sabi niya. Kasi okay naman na daw. Di ba? Okay na
Hindi
daw.
magdamit.
Parang
Mag-isa ka.
Ipagdamit lalaki siya, tapos wag na siyang mag-makeup. Okay lang
Kulot.
yun.
Huwag na.
diba? Or I'm sure Mother Ricky will be the first person not to walk down an alley with all men na siya lang mag-isa.
Yeah.
Ang gusto kong sabihin is, even gays, lesbians, LGBTQIA+, who have experienced some sort of, level ng privilege, I think na hindi na to kailangan.
Right.
Kasi sila, they enjoy
They're
it because they are they're comfortable, they are in a position of power.
Yes.
But they completely disregard the lived experience of others who are discriminated. That's why, as painful as it is, it's important to talk about experiences of discrimination. Masakit man, trauma kasi like even I was asked when I was guesting on B&O about my own traumatic experience being a transgender woman who's trying to just use the restroom and how that affected me my entire life basically. At some point I've experienced health problems because I hold my pee. Hindi ako confident mag-CR sa CR ng babae kasi baka mapalayas ako. So, diba, parang kasi na-experience ko siya. You know how bad that is? I stress the importance of telling these stories. No, it is painful, but the importance is so that they realize that this is not happening to a handful of people only. It happens to most, if not all. No? So what happened was, I was in a posh mall. Posh. And I was in a...
May EDSA ba yan?
Sa may EDSA? Yes, sa may EDSA siya. So it's a posh mall. I was in an event. I was in a beautiful dress. I was, hobnobbing with powerful people inside and like really feeling my oats. Beautiful makeup, etc. I love this privilege. I love being in this position of power. But I'm like, girl, you made it. You made it. You better work. So ganda ko, ganun yung feeling. Tapos dumating yung part na, ay, nasisigar ako, shit, saglit lang. So I had to go out of the venue kasi function room na. Tapos I had to go out of the venue and found myself in the restroom of a mall. Tapos dun sa mall na yun, may pila yung mall ng babae. CR ng babae. Pumila ako. Siyempre, naka-high heels ako, naka-dress, naka-makeup. Pila ako dun. Tayo ako. The women in the line didn't mind at all. As in like, nothing. Wala. Scams. They went on their own merry way. And I was just waiting in line. Pagpasok ko ng restroom, it was my turn to go to the cubicle. So there was an available one. Pasok ako. Uwi ako. Pag upo ko, biglang nakita ako, before ko mag-close ng door, nakita ko ng janitor. It was a janitress, female janitor. Na nakita niya ako, tapos napansin niya, parang look at me with contempt, tapos ako palak na ako ng pinto. Eh, sinara ko na kasi uwi na ako. Paupo na ako, ganyan na. I was gonna do my business. Pero this cubicle is one of those cubicles na merong space sa baba, yung you can see your feet. The door. So, sinabi nung janitor na parang, labas po kayo dyan, bawal po kayo dyan.
What?
Kayo po yung pumasok sa cubicle. Ganun siya. Tapos ako parang,
Gosh.
oh my God, am I gonna have to deal with this? After kong na-feel na powerful ako at privileged dun sa function, no?
Oh no.
So, imagine how how that broke my head, or like how I felt about myself. And she wasn't done. She didn't just call me out verbally, no? She was holding a mop, and she put that mop under the door.
Seriously?
And sinundot-sundot na yung paa ko.
What?
Sabi niya, umalis ka dyan.
What the fuck?
That's too much.
Like, yung pain ko, naging superficial na lang sa sobrang stand ko na parang, oh my God, yung mop sobrang dumi, ang mahal ng high heels ko. Pero, pero thinking about it, parang, my freaking gosh, are you this serious? Are you serious right now? I just really wanna pee. So, okay. Lumabas ako. Sabi ko, sige, tapos na ako. Lumabas ako. Ate, anong problema? Bawal po kayo dito, dun po kayo sa male. Mind you, maraming babae dun sa powder room, ay dun sa restroom. Tapos parang ako, ate, kung dun po ako nag-CR, hindi po ako komportable kasi natatakot po ako dun. Pwede naman po kayo samahan ng guard. Nagrason ba siya? Kasi samahan ako ng guard sa CR para mag-CR sa CR na lalaki dahil nakadamit akong babae. Sobrang hindi ko gets. So parang na-feel ko na meron na rin siyang confusion sa utak niya. Sabi ko, why do you think this is the case? Parang tinanong ko, bakit ate? Bakit ito yung, policy ba to? Sabi niya, opo, policy lang po, pasensya na kayo. Gumanon-ganon siya. Sabi ko, ate, kung policy to, nasan yung manager mo, kakausapin ko? Kasi reputable mall eh. Diba? Sabi ko, I was invited, guest of honor ako dun sa event. Then, punyemas. Paano-anuhin lang ako ng map yung pa ako habang nagsi-CR. Then, sabi nung ate, ay, wala po kasi yung manager, mamaya pa siya dapat. Ate, nagrarason ka na lang. Ito lang yung sasabihin ko sa'yo kasi tapos na naman ako umihip. Ayoko nang umeksena. Huwag ka sanang ignorante. Huwag ka sanang ignorante. Hindi ako komportable mag-CR dun sa lalaki. Tapos lumabas ako. Parang sabi ko, at least nakausap ko siya, hindi ko hinayaan na maano niya ako. Pero, I was already traumatized. It traumatized me so much that I cannot go to, for a long time, I cannot go to a restroom na gano'n, yung female, male. Hinahanap ko ang restroom na walang non-gendered. It came to a point that my friends, even my best friends know about this, no? I know in every mall in Metro Manila where the non-gendered restrooms are. Usually they're in Starbucks, usually in their cafes. But I have a mental map of where these non-gendered restrooms are in the entire Metro Manila, just because I do not want to be discriminated against that way. Here's the thing. That trauma caused me a lot of many, minor lang naman, but health problems. But here's the thing. One example. There's only one non-gendered restroom at one time in Trinoma, in Quezon City. It's a big hall. If you watch, and that's in the first floor. If you watch a movie in the fourth floor,
bababa ka.
CR, I will have to go down to the first floor. And then I will not be able to watch. And syempre mahaba yung pila kasi non-gender. So isa lang. I will miss a whole lot of the movie. So, to not miss it, because I want to watch the movie, hindi ako magsi-CR at sasabog ako. Diba? So, ganun kahirap. But ito na lang yung isang komedya dyan, guys. Knowing where the non-gendered restrooms are, it's actually a plus point for my friends kasi alam nila kung saan sila magpupupo. Pag nagtanong sila kung saan sila, sabi ko, tignan nyo, nagpupupo kayo, hiya kayo magpupo sa di kailangan nyo rin ng non-gendered restroom. Di, ipaglaban nyo na sana mas maraming non-gendered restrooms. Diba? At hindi lang available. Para ako, wala naman akong pakialam kung ang macubicle ang macubicle ang mga restrooms, whatever. Basta meron lang din considered restrooms. Diba? Kasi it's supposed to be a comfort room. A place where I can have comfort.
Exactly.
Diba? So, why would I go to a CR na hindi ako comfortable? Diba? So, doon ako sa kung saan ako comfortable. Marami ding points against it na parang sa mga bahay naman natin, wala namang male and female restroom.
True.
Isa lang naman ginagamit natin. Bakit? Pero anong rason? Because we feel secure. We feel comfortable. What does not make us feel comfortable? Pag may undue intrusion. Pag merong walang consent na intrusion sa personal spaces natin. Diba?
Totoo.
So how do we do that? Huwag maging bastos sa ibang tao. Diba? Babae man yan o lalaki. Kasi kahit babae ka, hindi ka naman biglang papasok na lang sa cubicle ng kapwa mo babae. Diba? Wala namang, pambabastos pa rin yun. Diba? So it's not about it. It's not about women fearing na may, may lalaking magdadamit babae lang para bastusin siya dun sa CR. Men will not wait to wear female clothing to make you feel bastos, para mabastos ka or ma-sexually abuse ka. You think men will go that effort? Mag-lipstick pa bago siya makapambastos? They don't have to do it, diba? So it's an unfounded fear. So if I were to ask women to say na parang, ay, pag nakakita siya na kung may transgender woman na pumasok sa CR, welcome her instead.
Right.
Ibig sabihin, she was comfortable using the restroom. And then, if you're truly an ally, then tell her, hi, I realize you're in the female restroom. Do you feel comfortable enough here? Or parang, or if she wants to start a conversation, if you feel na parang medyo naligaga siya, or if she experiences the same discriminatory practice or experience as me, help, as an ally, help this person get out of the unsafe situation.
Right.
So, yung parang pwede mo siguro sang, parang, okay lang, sige, mag-CR ka sa cubicle na to, okay lang, I'll be here. Ganyan. Just so that you're comfortable. I understand that this makes you comfortable. Ganon dapat ka maging alay. The same way, if you're a male, if you use the male restroom, if you realize there's a trans man who came in, and then make him feel na, okay lang. If this is your comfortable space, then, kasi a lot of them, or even men, na biglang may pumasok na transgender woman sa restroom na lalaki. Imagine na baka napalaya siya sa CR ng babae. And if you're an ally, diba? Let her know na, sige, I know you're uncomfortable here, but you have somebody who can make you feel comfortable. If you fear that mababastos ka, I'm here na to take you out an unsafe situation.
Right.
Or be ready to be that person. Yeah.
Sorry, Thais. So, ako, piggybacking on that discussion, no? So, ito medyo nagagal. I'm not so sure kung sinong senador yung nagsabi nito na kung papayagan daw natin yung mga transgender nating sisters, no, na pumasok, baka may risk daw of voyeurism. And I'm like, really? Ganun ba ang tingin niyo sa mga transgender na mga babae? Na parang lahat ng mga nagpe-pretend na maging lalaki para lang mamanyakin daw yung mga babae. And I'm like, my gosh, ganyan kayo kakitid mag-isip. I just want to hear your thoughts about it. Because ako, I'm like, really? That's so ridiculous to think about voyeurism as an antithesis to the bill at the end of the day. Yun lang.
Yun nga yung, thank you so much. That's a wonderful point. Kasi, yun nga yung weird eh. Kasi ang iniisip nila, completely sexual lang yung pagpupunta ng isang transgender individual sa CR. Pupunta ba ako dun para makipag-sex? I mean,
come on.
It's the hardest thing in my mind. Kasi, magsi-CR lang naman talaga ako, di ba? Unless, like, cruising pala ako or like, pero, it's very rare. Like,
super.
Hindi talaga. Hindi
Yes.
talaga. Like, I'm just
Correct.
gonna tell you,
And
hindi
it's,
talaga. And ito yung masama. These same people can claim this against transgender individuals,
Yeah.
but will pass over claims of like sexual abuse in the family. They won't acknowledge
Yes.
that there's sexual
Yes.
abuse in the family.
Yes.
Sexual abuse in schools by
Right.
by teachers, diba?
Mhm.
When you,
Exactly.
they won't even touch that topic with a 10-foot pole, but here they are sticking their noses in my, being able to use the restroom. Parang,
and in your biological
exactly, don't
matter.
I have that right?
Yes.
Kasuhan kaya kita kasi nagkaroon ako ng UTI dahil di ako
Yeah.
nakaihi dahil
Yes.
pinagbabawalan nyo akong mag-umihi sa kung saan ako komportable, di ba? O, yun na. Kung meron na yung SOGIE bill, edi yun na yung magiging defense ko. Nagka-UTI ako, nagkasakit ako dahil sa policies nyo, dapat lang kayong mag-penalize.
Yes.
Di ba? So, and imagine the trauma, marami na, di ba? But then anyway, but that's the case. I hope I'm not, going around, but
No.
that's a one example of the many examples of discrimination, and we all know that it
Yes.
doesn't stop there. It's more insidious. I have also experienced, violence na form of discrimination. I also experienced discrimination na dahil lang ang tingin sa akin ay ito lang, hanggang ganito lang yung kaya ko, hindi ako makakaabot sa ganitong level. Like in the workplace, for example, yung sinasabi nga ninyo na maraming experiences din sa hiring, ganyan, maraming ganun din. So, yun yung tinatry na protektahan ng SOGIE Equality Bill. So, imagine why the opposition? Why do you think, parang, bakit nyo i-oppose to if you don't even know, what it tries to protect? Then they realize na parang, kasi di naman nangyayari yan, it's just the scapegoat, etc. Yun yung sinabi mismo ni Brother Eddie, no? Tapos sabi ko, Brother Eddie, my God, Diyos ko is Lord. Hindi, don't judge what you don't understand. You have not made an effort to understand, what kind of people we're trying to protect with this kind of law. You enjoy religious freedom. Not all people even choose to be in a religion, and between the two things, the one that you actually choose to be in is to have a religion and not being LGBT.
Yes.
So, di ba? Yun yung ang totoong a personal choice is to join a religion and not your own sexuality or gender identity. Di ba? So, parang ako, kung ganun man, at na-enjoy nila yung religious freedom, when they feel the slightest discrimination against their religious freedom, maalma nga sila. If you use the same logic na religious freedom ang reasoning nila, I mean, if you use the same logic as they're being able to exercise freedom of their religion, then we should be able to exercise yung right natin na this is actually freedom of expression. This is actually an inalienable human right. It cannot be taken away from us. But the reason being here is, while it's enshrined in the Constitution not to be discriminated against, walang specific na batas to protect us. Because there are very specific reasons you get discriminated against. Yun lang naman.
Yeah. And I think that's very important that we are pushing for this bill, diba? Because I think in terms of, what do you call that? Laws or guidelines or rules, I think we're still a far cry from other countries. For example, in the US, because I worked for a multinational company before as well. And we actually had non-gendered restrooms. We had a unicorn on our wall. And then I would encounter transgender people in the toilet. And I would just, treat them just like any other person. I mean, I don't talk to them because I don't know them personally, but I'm like, I smile, and then parang nothing out of the ordinary. So in terms of laws, for example, you mentioned employment earlier. There are laws in the U.S., for example, wherein you're not even allowed to ask the people their marital status, because why? So what if they're married or not? Does it affect their job? It shouldn't, right? I mean, it shouldn't matter, because if they are really dedicated to the job, then they will be able to find ways to manage that or to set expectations. And if they are, let's say, a person with a disability or inability, then there should be accommodations for such as well. Because, like you mentioned, I mean, they might be in a wheelchair, but then maybe they might have the most brilliant mind in terms of data analytics. So, alam mo yun, parang you're not even allowed to ask, like, do you have a boyfriend? Like, what's your age? Even is not allowed. Because, I mean, so what if they're, let's say, 60 years old or 45 years old, right? I mean, they might be even smarter than some other people that I know. Ageism, right? That's discrimination as well. And I think that's the thing that we don't really have here, or that we haven't really explored, or we haven't really, let's say, inculcated, is that there is more to a person than just how they look, or their date of birth, or let's say the sex that they were assigned at birth, diba? And that's the thing that we also want to accomplish by doing this particular session, is that we want to understand, because even for within the community, for example, there is discrimination because there's a lack of understanding, or at least a lack of information, because maybe the media that they're exposed to is just what their parents give to them, or maybe it's the things that they're just interested in. But these things, these situations, these challenges, these trauma are real. And I know it will be painful for some, but it has to be said. It has to be told. These stories have to be shared. And that's why it's really, really important for me to have this kind of conversation, not just for a general sense of awareness, but also for myself, because I want to understand more. I want to be more understanding.
Yeah, may I'll just share something then to piggyback on Mikey, because I think that was sorry. I think that's why I took long to realize who I was, because I felt discriminated within the community I was supposed to be accepted in.
Right.
To be honest, because I was growing up thinking it should have been like, when I come out, would they accept me? But no, it turned around, because I'm not too gay for them. I was masked, kumbaga, in their terms. I was too straight to act to be gay. Parang ganon. So I felt like an outcast in that own community. So that hurt. It took me some time, and eventually I figured out when the mask, kumbaga, when the Borta gays arose into society, into the Philippine society, parang, oh, okay, I'm not alone anymore. When the DL world suddenly flipped, I am not alone anymore. My story is being told. So parang, I mean, that was the feeling before. Na I felt alone. And I wasn't straight enough for the other side. I wasn't gay enough for the other side. So where do I go?
Yeah.
See, so if within the community there's such contempt for
how much more for the greater community,
and then the fam presentations, it's just a matter of, I guess, iisipin nyo na lang may mga masama talagang tao. And, for the most part, ito yung mga hindi dapat natin silang sundin. They exist, right? But when you are actually kind, kung niisip ko rin naman yung sasabihin na parang, hindi tama to eh. And that's why I won't do it. I won't perpetuate, those kinds of ideas that limit or invalidate the lived experience of another person.
Right.
So, but when you feel na parang, hindi to tama, huwag mong gawin. And then to become an ally, even to your same people in the same community, pag may nag-observe ka na taong gumawa ng ganun, sabihin mo, depende sa kung paano mo siya nakilala or kung paano kayo ka-close. Kung magkaibigan kayo, sis, medyo, sis, parang medyo hindi betchy eh.
Kalma.
Ano sa tingin mo? Ganyan eh. Di ba, mag-chika siya. Tapos parang ito kasi sis, ito kasi understanding ko dyan, microaggression kasi yan. Di ba?
Yes.
Hindi dapat ginagawa yan, ganyan. Saan mo naman natutunan yan? Yung kay Thais. Tapos pinatay niya.
Hindi naman.
Pero hindi naman. Pero like, di ba? Parang be an active ally. Ibig sabihin, alam mo na sa sarili mo, pero hindi mo naman pinigilang mangyari habang napapanood mo or habang nangyayari, di ba? So, wala. Naging ano ka lang, passive ally ka lang, di ba? You want to have an impact. You want to have your allyship to have an impact.
Guys,
Yes.
sorry, just to piggyback ulit tayo.
Piggyback.
I think Mikey made mention of stories. So ako personally, Thais, I'd like to thank you for sharing your story. Kasi ako to me, stories really matter to me. Kasi dun ako nagko-connect and nag-anchor dun sa decisions ko at the end of the day. I'd like to share some stories. I joined my first Pride March in 2012 in Makati. That was the last set was approved. Anyway, Denton Remoto was there and Bems Benedito. And then Denton Remoto shared a couple of stories about, one story was about this lesbian operations manager in a BPO company who was about to be promoted. Pero nung nalaman meron siyang partner, live-in, hindi siya pre-promote. No, that's one story. Another story, which pa-worst to ng pa-worst, no? So, this BPO employee, syempre panggabi, no? So, umuwi siya around 5 a.m. Naka-shades, syempre sa BPO, di ba? Nagtrabaho tayo sa BPO. Naka-shades siya kasi namaga na yung mata niya kasi inaantok na siya at lahat, no? Nakita siya ng isang guy, and then napansin niyang medyo flamboyant, manamit, makulay ang buhok and lahat, di ba? Ganun naman sa BPO, very diverse, no? And all. Sinuntok siya bigla, munti ka na mabulag yung employee ng BPO na yon. That was a story. And then, sabi ko, oh my God, grabe. And here's a worst scenario or a story. A transgender woman, parang nireport kasi binugbog sa isang kalye, pero unreported case. Bakit? Kasi transgender siya. So, these are some of the stories that I heard na nagkaroon ng impact sa akin that really pushed me to join really Pride Marches. I'm not really well informed about these things, but I have the drive, and I really thank you on behalf of BBS for sharing your story, definitely. And we have our own respective stories. So maraming salamat, Thais. This is really impactful for us. Yun lang.
Yes. I appreciate that you're able to join the Pride March and listen to those stories kasi yun yung isa sa mga impact ng Pride, no?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I'm a trustee of the Pride organizers. Metro Manila Pride. It's my main organization. But here's the thing. It's important that we join the Pride Marches because it's a gateway for LGBTQIA individuals to start thinking beyond themselves. We always say, or the how Pride has been packaged is it's a celebration, okay? Right. But actually, Pride is a march. Pride ay protesta, okay? Yes. Because, and it will remain a protest until we do not have the same equal rights and experience the same equal rights as everyone else. We remain as some sort of second-class citizens in our own country. Kasi wala tayong legal protections under the law.
Right.
It has to have that all because we still hear stories of discrimination. Yun lang yung medyo Nico, no? Sana hindi yun yung rason kung bakit tayo nagsumasali sa Pride. Kaya nga Pride kasi we are proud. We have to reclaim our pride kasi hindi tayo kahiya-hiya, di ba?
Right.
Hindi tayo kahiya-hiya. We have to reclaim our pride. Pero until now, the reason why or you're galvanized to join Pride or be part of the Pride movement kasi narinig mo yung mga stories ng discrimination. So sana hindi na ganon. Actually, the goal of Pride is to not have any more Pride. Mawala na yung Pride March. Yung end goal. For it to be obsolete because we're just celebrating who we are, period.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
If we have truly achieved complete equality, the end goal of Pride is that there is no more Pride because we are all equal already. We have made it possible for every single one of us to feel protected and equal under the law. So, but until that does not happen, then the fight goes on and it's still a protest. Yes, it is a celebration. It's a celebration of the many things that have happened since the time na, pwede pa tayong, sasakalin, saktan, whatever, etc. Walang talagang bastusan talaga ang pagturing sa atin. I mean, it still exists, fine. But for the most part, a lot of strides have been made to make this an even safer space for LGBTQIA. But we have to have, you know, we have to continue the call for Pride to be a protest against not being able to exercise our rights. I can see a comment. I had a chance to witness my first Pride experience in Oxford. Very overwhelming seeing how everyone is just there, celebrating, believing, and accepting. That's one of the best experiences you can have when you join Pride. Pride March. You can just feel
Be yourself.
The air. For a lot of people, it's their first time to fully express who themselves are. In terms of their being LGBTQIA, because they feel that it's a safe space for everyone. So the goal of Metro Manila Pride is to not just be a space for one single day in the year, but also to foster as an organization learning experiences, education, so that na buong taon siya nangyayari, no? Hindi siya ng isang araw lang. That's a reason why I'm here and I say yes to invitations just like this because you know, yun dapat ang ginagawa namin. It must not remain a singular day that we do this. The fight is actually in the everyday that we live the values of pride, no? So when people see that, then join Pride eventually, and then realize na okay, there's a space for us here. Then realize na parang okay, that's why it's needed. That's why we need to fight. That's why we need to march. That's why we need to protest. So yun. I like being part of the Pride movement because yung values niya ever since yung pinakaunang Pride sa US, and then pumunta sa Pilipinas, tapos nagkaroon na ng iba't ibang iterations. And then now na ang organizers ng Pride ay Metro Manila Pride, which I'm part of, you know, it just makes me feel na parang I'm finally doing something for the community. And kasi noon, akala ko din, ano lang din ako I was just really somebody who was just on the side. Like, I didn't know enough to talk. Then I realized na parang when I experienced na I have some sort of influence, sabi ko na parang okay, I kind of have an audience. I kind of have like people kind of listen to me what I say. Parang there's a huge opportunity for me to talk about what's important to me and what I feel, and then a huge part of that is being you know, it's the fight for LGBT equality. So, you know, sabi ko na parang sige, parang I will offer my time, join Pride. And then, nung na-transfer yung management ng Pride or pag-organize ng Pride sa Metro Manila Pride, I think 4 or 5 years ago, they invited me for their board meeting, and I became part of their trustees. I'm the only transgender woman who's part of the board of trustees. So I kind of feel that I have a huge, parang ano kami dun parang council of Kinamerlu. Council of elders. Parang gano'n na parang like, and these are really fantastic, fascinating people who are part of the board. And I was just somebody who's from the private sector then. Yung every year we are called to gather, no? Parang para kaming may meeting ng mga Hokage ng Konoha or like.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, the anime fan jumped out. So
yes,
like,
that's okay.
So parang may ganun kaming feeling na parang yung mga.
Bukalin ka na ba?
mga parang elders ay pinapatawag every year to convene and decide on like the whole thing. So
Actually, parang mga sanin na kayo.
mga sanin, ganun level. And then, like, legendary sanin. Char! Oh my God!
Correct.
So, parang ako, sabi ko, parang increasingly every year when I join it, I realize how important, big, imagine it started. Yes, please follow our
Yes.
We started, naging sobrang happy na kami sa 2017 na there was 10,000 people who joined.
Oh,
And
yes.
then 50,000. And then last year, up to 70,000.
Kagulat yun super yun.
Lalo yung Marikina, it was hydro pride daw na rain or shine, everyone went.
Yes. Oh my God.
That was wild. That was really wild.
Guys, kung magiging okay, no, sana makasali kami sa pag-organize ng Pride March. I would be more than willing to be part of the group, really. Yeah.
There is, okay, how do we do it? How do we do it? We have a membership committee. We have a volunteers committee.
Okay.
We open this at a certain time in the year. Siguro, kung ang Pride March is in end of July or around that time. We open the volunteers, the call for volunteers around March or April. And then you get to pick which committee you're gonna be under and then you're gonna be led by these fantastic, actually it's not even me. I'm truly just somebody who, alam niyo naman mga trustee, alam mo yung tinatawag lang pag may parang kailangan malaking desisyones. Ako yung maingay. Ako lang maingay, pero kung yung mga trustee namin guys, kakaiba. Kasi talagang ibang level ng mga lawyers, they're really movers, activists talaga in the realm of LGBT. The fight in LGBT, no? But for LGBT rights. But the real movers of Metro Manila Pride are the committee heads, and then our Pride and March committee. Yung sila talagang they're ones who organize Pride March. So when you're under it, you pick kung saan ka magiging under, and then you depende sa kung anong talents mo. Like if you're one of our most fantastic, most pinaka-proud kami is our creative team, which actually creates our graphics and our visuals for the year. They decide the visuals, how it's gonna be going out, and every single year, the identity of Pride visually, laging na-commend, no? Kasi it's always modern, it's always something na striking, and even the copy, how they write it, it's really amazing. I love the kids who join. I love the volunteers who join. And sobrang dami namin kailangan volunteers lagi. Kasi again, it's a volunteer-run organization. We don't have that much money. The money that we use, that we raise, goes to the Pride event itself. So, but it's a very well-oiled organization, I guess, like very led by very, very competent people. And if you do want to join, please watch out for the call for volunteers yearly.
Yes.
Pride March this year was supposed to be in Manila. So we cannot do it because of the pandemic, right? So it was supposed to be in CCP grounds. Because of the pledge of Mayor Isko Moreno to hold it in Manila. The reason why for a long time it's been held in Marikina is because Marikina is one of those cities who have an anti-discrimination ordinance.
Right.
And not only that they have an ordinance, Mayor Marcy Tudoro is actually a very active ally of the LGBTQIA.
Yes.
And, not only did he offer Marikina Sports Complex as a venue for free, because noon, Metro Manila Pride pays for the venue. We pay, and the venue usually costs us, to Mount Pride, it's upwards, or just shy of 2 million pesos to Mount Pride.
Yeah. And I know how much Marikina costs, so that's big. That's way big.
And if you rent it, for use is like nasa 1 million, pushing to 1 million
Yes.
na yung cost niya, di ba? Yung operational expenses for any event in Marikina. But Marikina local government offered it for free, and even security for the event is offered for free, and even
Wow.
the restrooms, the
Portalets.
Portalets.
So instead of raising so much money just to pay for security, sanitation, and the event, the location itself, we can focus on giving paying top money for performers, for you give an honorarium, then or put it in terms of stuff. We can pay our artists, we can pay we can our rig for the program, our stage is beautiful. So yun, parang doon na pupunta yung pera. So we thank the Marikina City Government for that, being our partner for the last two Pride marches.
Yeah.
But there was the main feedback holding it there is yun nga, pag umuulan, it's kind of really challenge.
Yes,
And
it is.
kasi ang layo niya, and then yung physical location ng Marikina. So parang okay, we were looking for a different location na nakamatch yung offer ng Marikina. Good thing, ISCO was already working on their own anti-discrimination ordinance and was committed enough to say na, okay, we can offer Manila as a location, and then we're able to seek the approval of CCP to hold it there. Pero nagka-pandemic, so we're moving it next year.
Okay.
So the location for Pride March next year is still in CCP unless there are any changes to it. But yes, I hope yes, you'll be right.
Yeah.
Situation.
I hope
Yeah.
to see all of you there.
Yeah.
It's such gonna
Looking
be a
forward
fun.
to it.
Yeah, we were supposed to go this year, kaya lang it happened.
Yeah. So it's all online this year, yun yung nangyari.
Yeah.
But I think it was also okay din kasi naging whole day thing siya. So parang it was it's a stretch na naging spread out. It's like it was really a festival, and like I like it in that sense. Parang it offered us a different glimpse of how we can do it in a different way. No?
Right.
Yeah. Guys, I have a question pala. Sorry. Kasi I know allyship and support would start because we were talking about the bigger scale of allyship and support. What about in the family? Kasi for my case, let's just go to my case na lang. Na I have 3 intersections, or 4, I think. No, 3. I'm part of the LGBT, I'm part of the indigenous people, and I'm also Christian. My parang I have that background. My family is also ultra Christian. So how, like, one of my biggest questions I had before was, how do I tell that, or how do I come out or share my experience to that kind of intersection that holds the same way? Na my family is close-minded or very conservative. I'm grateful enough that I got received well by my mom, but my dad, who's the part na who's ultra Catholic to a point of Eddie. I'm not hoping Eddie Villanueva, pero I'm hoping it's not that much. Pero how do I tell that, or how do I say that? Especially na there's this stigma pa rin na I was scared initially to tell my mom about who I was or who I loved, because I am scared I might get kicked out. I'm scared I might die. I'm scared I might be killed or found dead in the road. I'm scared na I won't have a home afterwards. Kasi in Pose, they have homes or houses. But in the Philippines, we don't have anything similar. So how do we do that? Or how do we answer that or reveal, come out? Ang hirap, no?
So, napakahirap. Kasi imagine what the cost is of coming out to your family when the reason is just fear, no? Fear sa side ng bata or ng individual na mag-come out kasi baka palayasin siya, mawalan siya ng place in the family, and basically itakwil siya, no? So a lot of these things happen. in the Philippines and worldwide. But let's go to the fear of the parent, siguro, no? I want to just touch on that. Why do parents? I hope some parent is listening right now or watching.
Mhm.
Why do parents think that you know uh, yung anak nila natatakot sila maging bakla or tomboy, LGBT? A lot of it is because of fear that my son or daughter will live in a world where I cannot protect them. I am a parent, and my sole goal is to love my child so much, protect him or her so much from the world. But when they self-determine, ibig sabihin, it comes as a shock for most parents when their children
Yeah.
are gay or lesbian because they realize that they don't know their children so much.
Yeah.
Imagine that slap in the face of a parent who all this time you thought you know your child so much and then tells you, Mama, I'm actually attracted to women. Anak, you're lesbian? Yes, Mama. The immediate thing that comes to a parent's mind is the fear of how the world will treat my lesbian child.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the mama will feel some sort of betrayal. How can my child not tell this to me? Or how did I not know that my child was a lesbian?
Yeah.
And then her values, si mama, her values will tell her kung paano siya magre-react. My son,
Wait, did I lose you guys?
Yeah, nawala si Thais, I guess.
Oh no.
Internet.
Internet.
Buko
Buko Wi-Fi is real. We have
Right.
frozen ties now.
Oh,
Baka
hopefully
we
she's
can
able to come
we
back.
can take the time to read some of the comments siguro.
Sige.
Yeah, I think to
I
to
don't
to
She's back,
bank off
actually.
what parang ayan na, she's back.
Hi.
Ayan na.
Oh my God! So sorry. Okay,
Ang
so
Welcome to
ulit.
Buko Wi-Fi.
the ML people have finally nakuha na nila lahat ng bandwidth. Okay, so that spells the end of my better Wi-Fi and better camera. But I'm using my laptop
Yeah.
camera now. Just to continue that thought. So the parents are usually doing this out of fear that they number one, they are betrayed by the information that they just received. Number two, they're fearful how society will treat their child and they cannot protect them from the society. And their own values will dictate how they will treat their own child. So kung ang value niya ay makasalanan yung anak niya, gagawin niyang tatanggalin niya, hindi niya gagawin makasalanan yung anak niya. So babaguhin niya yung anak niya by any means possible. Kung society ang basis ng fear niya, then ipapakonform niya yung anak sa kung ano ang tingin ng society, tingin niya na hindi mababastos yung anak ng society. Weirdly enough, the parent does not think to change how society thinks of their child. So, yun yung dapat, 'di ba? Na parang bakit ang tingin ko ay ang anak magbago ka kasi yan yung sasabihin sa iyo ng
Yeah.
society. When in fact, anak, you're just all right. You're perfectly fine. I will work so hard so that society changes what they think about you. Isn't that the better
Yeah.
way
Yes.
of being a parent?
Yes.
I will tell a parent right now who's watching. Your fear that you're unable to protect your child will happen because eventually your child will grow out and become their own person. Of course, you will not be able to protect your child all the time.
Right.
Your child will have to go out to the world eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever fear you have is not unique to if your child is LGBT or not. But here's the thing. Your fear na yung LGBT child mo mababastos, kasi number one, baka ginawa mo noon. Diba? Baka na-experience mo, nakita mo, wala kang ginawa, society remained what it is, and now you have an LGBT child, and it will happen to you. And it will happen to your child who you supposedly love so much. There's no point in changing your child, but there's a better point in trying to help change society about what it thinks about your child. So be your child's first ally.
Yep.
It means so much. And the earlier that it will happen, if your child realizes that they have the support of the person who they love most in their life.
Yeah.
Imagine, may mga taong nagsasabi sa akin na, guys, nung sinabi sa akin ng mama ko, natanggap niya ako, I don't care what other people said. Anymore.
Yeah, actually.
Because my mom is the most important person in my life. Thank you.
Thank you. In my mom's words nga nakakatawa eh. She said it in a different way. I think she said it na sa akin when I said na I was this. Sabi niya, you think I'm stupid, Lance? I'm your mother. Then suddenly sabi bawi na I love you no matter who you are. So that was yung bawi niya after na sabihin niya yung linyang yun, parang damn. Pero there's also a series that resonated so well na sobrang bigat sa akin when it comes to that. Yung one played by Yayo Aguilar when she said na why son, why? I may be the first to know but I'm the last to accept. Parang ganon yung naging batuhan ng linya nila in that series.
Yeah.
It's possible because the last might be the last to know, but first to know, but the last to accept. Because their acceptance is based on their own values, how they think. Their own values have informed their own acceptance of any LGBT individual. Just so happens that you're their child. Now they have the unique dilemma of having to say na I have to love this person unconditionally because this is my child. But my values tell me that being LGBT is sinful. Diba? So grabe yung dilemma sa utak ng parent. And then you realize na kaya naman pala and then because they're your parents and they're for the longest time, I mean for your entire life they have exercised some sort of power over you. Then yung filial piety, what we call filial piety, yung pagsunod natin sa magulang no matter what, comes into play and they will say, anak, you must do this. You will never do this. I have a kwento which I usually share about this. No, when I first had or realized that being who I am is some sort of wrong or like not right. So I was about 4 or 5 years old. I was in a Catholic school, Catholic preschool, and the nuns said, "Okay, we're gonna have a costume party. Come into school in a costume." So ako naman, I had a yaya because my mom is a working mom, engineer siya. She usually leaves very early for the day and just comes back in the evening. So mayaya, sabi ng mom ko na parang, oh yaya, can you put guys in a costume? They have a costume party sa school and whatever it is, just sa pagbalik ko, I'll bring a camera and I'll just take a photo of it. I won't be able to go, sorry. Tapos ako parang, okay. Si Baby Tice parang, alright, exciting, what is the costume? What is the costume, Yaya? And then Yaya was like, okay, let's put you in a costume, Tice. For some reason, si Yaya, ang costume na nilagay niya sa akin ay madre.
I love the humor ni Yaya.
So Yaya, ang naisip ng costume ay madre. So dinamitan niya ako ng she cut a piece of cloth, pang madre, and then complete with a belo. So I went to my preschool. My teacher is of course a nun, a madre. Pagpasok ko sa door, to her complete shock, I was a mini-me of her. Tapos yung mga tao parang, what? Tapos ako parang, alright, tada! I am, this is what it means to be a costume, right? I am playing a madre. And the nun was like, sabi niya sa yaya ko, tanggalin na lang natin yung belo, no? Tapos pari na lang siya. Pari na lang siya. So, yay! Pari! So, my belo was snatched. And then I was told to be a priest. Ako cannot believe it. I was already looking at myself in the mirror. And bakit ako pare? Madre ako. I'm like teacher. Why can't I be her? Didn't you say costume is like being parang gusto ko mong maging na yun? Or like parang i-embody siya or something. I felt closely, it felt better, Yaya, to be a nun. So I went home. And then when I went home, sabi ko, all right, tanggalin na to, everything. And then mommy came in the evening. Sabi ni mommy, Yaya, nasa na yung costume ni Thais? Pakilabas siya at pipicturean ko siya, nakabili na ako ng film para sa camera. Alright, so fashion show. Excited ako. Yaya, paggamitin mo ulit ako. Ganyan, costume ulit. Paglabas ko, syempre, naka-madre complete ulit. Kasi syempre, yun yung costume ko. Yaya, ako yung madre, yun ako masaya. Gusto ko makita ni mommy na madre yung costume ko. When I came out, mommy was already preparing to take a photo of me. She was also shocked. And she didn't take it well. That weekend, I didn't see my yaya anymore.
Grabe.
And in that young mind, I understood that what I felt, what I am, what I was, what just happened is wrong. And it informed a lot of how I conducted myself growing up.
Yeah.
Na hindi siya, bakit, ang daming interrogation sa sarili ko na, bakit yun hindi tama? Bakit, ako ba ang hindi tama? Ginawa ko ba yung hindi tama? Si Yaya ba ang hindi tama? Kasi the way it was explained to me was, Yaya was just wrong in doing that. But mommy, I liked it too. So, imagine how young children experience that kind of things. And I was 4 years old and I can still remember how I felt. Now, tell me that nothing happens when you tell a child na huwag kang babakla-bakla. Huwag kang tutomboy-tomboy. Tell me those words don't mean anything.
Yeah.
When I can still remember what happened to me when I was 4 years old.
Grabe.
So yun. That's the relationship of how to explain it to a parent or something. You must first think how ready this parent is, your relationship with them, the values that they hold. But to me, may mga taong successful when they hold yung nila, no? Ang laki din pala ng effect ng media, if I might just say. So a lot of when I was studying media representation for LGBT, no, I came across a case study of a child, actually high school na siya, who was watching with her parents. Remember when there was Pinoy Big Brother?
Yes.
And Bibi Gandang Hari. Gusto Padilla, formerly, came out to Keanu Reeves in one of the most fantastic images that ever occurred live in Philippine television. A Padilla brother coming out as Bibi Gandang Hari, as gay first, actually, to Keanu Reeves, ending years and years of speculation about his sexuality then. And how it was done was so tender and was so, it sparked a conversation in many families glued to Pinoy Big Brother on national television. the story of this high school student who a friend actually, it was a friend, itong case study namin, no. Nung high school siya nangyari yon. He was watching it with his family, and when he started watching it with his family, yung tatay niya, who was like, never in a million years he would think na would understand what's happening on screen, or would probably be mad about, or like papatayin na yun daw yung TV. But his father was the one, buong family to ha. The mom is there, his mga kapatid is there, kasambahay nila, nandun siya. And matagal na siya sa loob niya na parang gusto niya rin niya mag-out, alam mo, hindi lang niya masabi, and like, alam naman niya na may natutokso na siya na bakla, growing up, pero hindi niya masabi talaga kung ano siya. But then at that point, yung tatay niya biglang nagsabi, bakit? Bakit kung, anong pakialam natin kung bakla si Rustom? Ganyan naman talaga siya eh. Tignan naman kung gaano siya tinanggap nung kausap niya. Nung nasabi niya yun, nung tatay niya, nagulat siya na may ganun pa ng idea yung tatay ko about being gay. So he took the chance. Parang, Daddy, what do you think if ganun ako? Yung mga kapatid niya was like, yung nanay niya was like, diba? Kasi tinignan niya yung chance eh. Ayun na eh. Sinabi na ng tatay mo na, bakit? Magbakla si Rustom.
Okay lang.
Diba? Okay lang. Diba? Nagsalita. Patriarch to. Usually, pag nagsalita ang patriarch, tahimik kayong lahat.
Right.
Sabi siya, Daddy, paano kung ako? Gagaya ko si Rustom. Ang sinagot ng tatay niya, ang kinagulat niya talaga, kinatumbling niya sa lahat. No? So, sinabi ng tatay niya, matagal naman namin ang alam, anak. Pero, mahal ka pa rin namin.
Wow.
So, imagine a conversation like that will never have happened if there was nothing in media that showed that opportunity. For a father to openly say, who would otherwise never say something about it, a conversation that would never have happened. A child who would probably stayed in the closet until he was adult. So kung nangyari yun, and if we can make those things happen, even more and more often, the BL series that you watch, if this can be shared in the family or may ganong impact, if it can foster conversations that way, then, that's the role, the huge role of media in making sure that we have well-adjusted and non-discriminated LGBTQIA members and allies who understand completely what it means to be LGBT. Their parents can have conversations with their children openly this way. Diba? Isa sa mga pinaka-heartwarming things na makikita mo sa Pride March ay ang mga parents na meron silang sign that say, if you're not accepted by your parent, then I am a parent who can accept you.
Yes.
Wow, grabe.
Yes, I saw those
Here's
signs
a free hug.
Correct.
And then those moms would offer their bodies, their arms, open arms to those children who have not felt acceptance from their own parents. And then hug them. And then they tell them that you are valid, you are loved, even if your parent has not come through yet with this kind, or you're afraid of telling your parent, I am a parent who feels this way for you.
Yeah.
And those kinds of interactions trump those really scary interactions din naman na there are religious groups who come outside of Pride and then scream hateful words against us. Bible verses na tell us that we're sinful, and I was told to my, nagilid talaga ng ears ko kasi I was, lagi ako, for some reason guys, lagi ako natutoka sa security. Hindi ko alam. Hindi ako malaking tao ha, pero malakas boses ko. So, pag ginagawa so, naririnig ko sila lagi kasi syempre kailangan mong lagyan ng barrier kasi may mga tao dyan na matitrigger talaga ng bongga, di ba? Tapos baka hindi makapagpigil, taktan sila pa yung makulong, sila pa yung mapulis. Di ba? Hindi itong mga taong nagsisigaw ng hateful words. So, imagine the emotions that are present in Pride and tama yung, babalik tayo sa tanong ni Lance na kung paano natin ipofoster yun sa magulang. Pakiramdaman mo, take the opportunity when you have it. And siguro, as a child, have a better relationship with your parent too. And if you're a parent watching, have a better relationship with your child. Para hindi kayo magtaguan ng sasabihin. I know that Filipino culture doesn't foster enough of these honest conversations. But kung ang impact ng ganitong klaseng conversation is you'll carry it for the rest of your life, may mga taong hindi talaga makapagsabi, nasa deathbed na yung magulang. Alam mo yun? Namatay na lang. Tapos dadali nila sa loob-loob nila na hindi ko nasabi sa nanay ko na bakla ako. Diba? Namatay na lang siya. Tapos parang ako, sayang, Beng, sayang. Bakit? Natatakot ako hindi niya ako tanggapin. O kung hindi ka niya tanggapin, edi, at least nasabi mo sa kanya na, Tay, ang promise mo ay, nung ipinanganak mo ko, unconditional love, kasi ikaw yung magulang ko. Ngayong kung ganito ako, hindi mo ako pwedeng mahalin man lang. Those are very hard conversations, but it must happen. Yes. It can happen. Yeah. Diba? Yes. And it spells the difference between outright, di ka naintindihan ng magulang mo, or napaintindi mo sa kanya. Diba? May opportunity pa lang paintindihin mo sa kanya. Diba? So take those opportunities. But I understand if things feel unsafe. Like meron talaga mga bayolente. But yun naman ang responsibilidad ng mass media. The more that stories like this come out in mass media, and people who think differently, think like who are hateful, nakikita nila to, na-understand nila na-understand. Nasa-shape din yung mind view nila. Magbabago nila at magbabago. So, yun yung napakalaking responsibilidad nating lahat din. Ginagawa na lang natin, wag mong isipin na ginagawa mo to para sa sarili mo lang. Pero napakalaki ng importansya na ginagawa mo to. Like for example, I'm a creator or I'm a producer and I decide to support a gay-themed content, like which is BL, for example. Yung ginagawa mo is helping normalize the idea that these relationships exist.
Right.
And if more people watch this, more people will change their minds. More people can have that more children can have that conversation with their parents who otherwise cannot have that opportunity. So the domino effect of what you're doing, napakalawak. So there's much more to say about that, but that's the best way I can put it. How important all these things are. Na hindi ako makapag-out dahil ganito. Tingnan natin kung saan ka nagkakaproblema dahil ba sa issue ng magulang dahil sa values niya, paano natin tatutulungan, etc. Pero napakahirap talaga. I acknowledge it. Like people, I've heard of like friends, people, how hard it is really. May mga issue pa ng mga mana-mana sa mga Filipino-Chinese families. Ang daming ganon, Bes!
Yes.
Ko, yung anak niyo po, ma'am, nakasampung boyfriend na po yan. Pero hindi niya masabing bakla siya kasi ayaw niyang maubusan ng mana. Parang antayin na lang po niya kayong mamatay. Parang, my God, ano ba? Parang asa magulang, parang, totoo ba? To know it to the end of your life, no? Tapos binulungan ka ng anak mo na, mamamatay ka na, surbol na to. Nasabihin ko na, bakla ako. Kasi nalagay mo na sa will and testament ko na may mana pa ako. Ha? Bakla ka? Tapos yun pala, ang sasabihin ng nanay niya, hindi mo naman sinabi, tanggap ko naman sana. Nakilala ko pa sana yung taong nagmamahal sa anak ko. Diba? Parang those opportunities are lost. if you keep on saying that you cannot accept your child. I mean, in your life, you must know who your child loves so much, and you want to know them too. You want to know why your child loves them. Anong klaseng love na tanggap ng anak mo, and if they're hurt, protect them from that. But you will never know. Imagine yung kaibigan ko nakasampung ex-boyfriend na, hindi alam ng nanay niya. Di ba? So, yung sakit na naramdaman niya, every time a relationship ends, he cannot share with his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and imagine the ano sana ng nanay na parang, I want to be there for my child. No, you cannot be there for your child because hindi mo siya naiintindihan in terms of who he really is. Gano'n ka sakit.
Ano talaga, I siguro my learning is talagang it's really important for us to create that safe space for everyone to make a choice.
Yeah.
I think the key learning for me is to have the power of choice. Parang SOGIE is really having that power to choose who you want to love, diba? How you want to present yourself, and how you want to identify as, diba? And creating that space for everyone to
Creating
choose
that
and respecting
space?
that choice.
Yeah, and respecting a choice. And then how to foster that, the basic, pinaka-basic, love talaga.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
respect.
yes.
Kung mahal mo yung tao, respetuhin mo siya. Pero, pinaka-basic na, ang respeto, guys.
Correct.
So, di ba, you will never want to hurt somebody because kung ano yung unang approach mo sa isang tao ay respeto. Di ba?
Right.
If you want to ask, if you feel natatakot ka na, like for example, may kakausap sa akin, tapos parang, sorry, ano ba, sorry, hindi ko masagot, kasi he, she, ano ba, ganon. Tapos parang, alam mo, tinanong mo na lang sana straight, respectfully, guys, how can I call you? Which pronoun should I call you? She or female, and let me know. Okay, she or her. Or I volunteer it. Or that's why I super appreciate that you put your pronouns in your boxes, because it normalizes asking or telling people what's supposed yung pronouns na gagamitin, kasi yung sa iba nahihiya sila to say this, diba? So this is an important and good exercise that you actually did.
Thank you.
So what I want sana na eventually, we work as hindi lang realize that our work, what we do is not just only for ourselves, but will impact a lot. Kasi ang goal naman natin dito is to create a better world for a new generation. I remember a friend saying, who works in development work, meron siyang NGO. What you're doing right now, the change that you want to happen and you're helping achieve right now is something that you may not experience. You will probably die before the world changes itself the same way na kung ano yung pinaglalaban mo ngayon. You may not live to see the change that you're trying to do right now. But that's the point.
Get it started.
But that's the point. You will not stop doing it because the promise of a world that's better is there when we do it. The things that we already experience right now and enjoy have been done for us by people who have come before us.
Stonewall.
Diba?
Yes.
Stonewall, diba? The first LGBT organizations that started in the Philippines. So honoring that, the things that they've done before, is carrying on the values that they've shared and they want to continue, so that generational change might happen. Till the generation occurs na kinalimutan na nila lahat ng pait. Sinabi ko nga dun sa Banlaw session with GSP.
Yes.
Yes, the Banlaw session na the reason why the story of Ian and Carl right now is painful, and maybe why are there painful stories of LGBT, no? Yun yung nababasa na nakikita natin lagi. Because the writer, his experience of relationships may just that often be painful, di ba? And the reason why we're doing this so that we know how to deal with it. We educate
Yes.
more and more LGBT to become respectful, allies to become more respectful, so that there's a generational shift wherein the writers who have lived in an era, a life, a generation where pain is a memory na lang that they don't want to happen again, the stories that they will write is that of victory already and happiness.
Yeah.
You know, you will always see stories of LGBT in pain, and often LGBT. Does every success of the LGBT stories na happy naman, diba? But hindi yun mai-eliminate kasi wala pa tayo sa generational change na yun. Therefore, we have to work on it. Therefore, we have to work on it. We have to add that voice. We have to be that person to add to that generational change. It's a change that we might not see. It's a change that may not happen in our lifetime, but it will continue not happening kung hindi tayo tumutulong.
Yes.
Right. And that's why we had this session, guys. And this is not actually the only session that we're going to be talking about it. We have some other succeeding sessions that we want to put up as well. Because we want to keep the conversation going, kumbaga.
Yeah.
But we don't want to keep any more.
3 hours na pala. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes.
We don't want to keep anymore.
Baka mahaba to, guys, kasi maingay kami. Like, we talk a lot, etc. Sabi ko, Lance, you know what? You're talking to the right person kung gusto nyo ng mahabang usapan kasi
yes. There was a lot of
really
sharing that
Thank
happened.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think one of the things I will take away from this is that we do have to do a lot of work, and there is a lot to be done yet. And the reason why we want to thank you for being here is just because you shared with us your story, you shared with us your knowledge about the SOGIE bill, and hopefully in our next conversations we'll be able to continue that momentum. Kasi we really need that talaga, especially if you want to champion LGBTQIA rights in the Philippines. So again, thank you so much for being here. I learned a lot. Hopefully everyone else learned a lot.
Thank you.
And hopefully
Nung sinabi sa akin na
in the future.
Of course, you're free if my schedule is free, just let me know. Pero nung sinabi niya sa akin na parang, ano kami ha, machika kami ha. Sabi ko, ay sige, machika din. Like, kumanta kayo. Pero like, I hope that I was able to, talk in lucid terms naman, that you're able to understand.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say.
Much.
There's one thing that I will remember. It's the analogy that you gave regarding SOGIE.
Yes. I will keep that forever.
It made me understand SOGIE very better.
To remember, okay, I'm in the bedroom, and my SOGIE is this. And like, that's what you tell somebody else. Na parang, ano ba yung SOGIE na yan? Diba? Parang like, imagine you're in the bedroom, ganon ka magsisimula. Tapos, diba, parang, kasi mag-get nila kagad eh.
Yeah.
And visualize it.
So
But
thank you
then,
very much for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you as well for sharing your platform.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Ty.
you.
So you might want to also promote your show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, guys. These are my shows. Okay, so Inuman with Tyson Rafi is on its second season. It's under Quarant Talk Media. It's one of those small media outfits that started during the pandemic. It's a ganito din StreamYard show. But what we do here is it's a talk show and it's a different topic every week. Usually, it has a political bent, no?
Okay.
But we talk about it in a way where Rafi and I, longtime friends, na parang nagiinuman lang. So because we actually really drink during the show, and imagine how crazy that
So
gets.
fun. Yes.
Maingay na nga ako. I mean, machika na nga ako, ganito lang. We usually cut the show. We usually cut the show at like 2 hours, but then our guests stay because we're already drunk, and then we drink until like 3 a.m.
Oh,
As in sobrang saya. But we talk about socially relevant things usually. But it always has a bent. May queer bent siya kasi syempre. Rafi is gay, I'm transgender. And then chismisan galore, and then daming ganyan. But for the last 2 episodes, we talked about SOGIE equality. Because the 2 episodes ago, 2 weeks ago, was our longest ever episode because we talked about discrimination. The horrors of discrimination in LGBT. It was so interesting. We had to have a part 2. So we invited the same guest and added Mela Habijan last week. This week pala, itong nakaraang week, in the discussion. Because kasi uminit yung SOGIE equality bill. So we realized the part 2 really is, it has to happen because the bill is being talked about again. And then, parang kasi ang pinag-prepare namin dun is parang like, kung ano yung mga questions nila specific to the bill, no? So we had parang myths. We had to answer like the myths against the SOGIE equality bill.
Yeah.
And we had a troll in our chat room. A troll na nag-inflame siya sa chat room namin na sobrang like who demanded to be answered within our live show. Oh my God, it was crazy. It was really crazy. Imagine nilang gaano kami naloka, no? So our guest then was Vince Liban, who was yung national convener ng Pantay, and Didi Marie Holiday, who is a drag queen, and then Mela Habijan. But grabe yung emotions during that episode last. But it was still fun. Afterwards, we had a solid after inuman session. Actually, inuman pa rin kami after that. Talking about how we can actually improve communication because trolls have already affected how we communicate these things. No? They meddle a lot. Hindi sila willing kasi mag-engage. Laging pabalang sumagot, laging
yes.
Walang philosopher, walang parang effort to understand you as well. They just keep on inflaming. Yun naman. So that's Inuman with Tyson Rafi. And then this is my newest show. I'm a series regular for Just Ally Things. Just Ally Things is a discussion.
I watched.
Yeah.
I watched the
You watched? Oh,
Yes, I watched it too.
We all watch it. We review it.
Yeah, we review it too.
Oh my god! Thank you so much for reviewing it, guys. Okay, so this was born out of the discussion surrounding Ate Judith, the character of Adrian Vergara, who is problematic ally. Si Ate Judith. But she has, and then you realize that she has her motivations, diba? It's a okay. You can debate whatever thing about her, but you can say that she's not a one-dimensional character. Like she really has her own idiosyncrasies. Then there was a conversation around it, and then Globe Studios thought na parang like actually Gege, the creator, said na parang maybe we can do something about having a discussion about allyship because it's very important. The viewers of this of the BL sensation, the series, are not necessarily LGBT, but they must never just look at LGBT as just source of entertainment. If they truly are allies and they want to understand what's happening on screen, then there must be something that we help them educate, and media again has the power to do that. So sinabi niya na maybe we can do a show for allies, how to educate themselves. Ito yung way na mag-educate sila. And then they created just ally things. And then they asked me to be their resource person for the episodes. So para akong Dr. Margie Holmes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yan.
Yung parang nag-explain na parang, ganito kasi yan, no? Ganito kasi yan.
Totoo yan.
Parang ganito kasi yan, ganun. Pero, so that's what we do in this ally thing. So, it's going to be, I think it's going to be just a few episodes. So, it's not gonna be ganun kadami. But I thank Globe Studio so much for giving me that opportunity to be the resource person. We have a very interesting future episode.
Watch out for that.
I'll give you an exclusive. We invited an icon of Philippine machismo.
Wow.
An icon of Philippine machismo. A discussion between him and a trans man. That's an exclusive. No one knows that that's coming, but
oh my God.
that's one of the episodes.
I'm gonna watch.
That is so interesting.
It's super interesting. You
That.
have heard
I'll watch
voices so much of gay, lesbians, and transgender women, but rarely trans men. But we have a trans man guest.
True.
Imagine a conversation between him and an icon of Philippine machismo.
Oh my God. That is so
I'm excited.
interesting.
And I had to be in between.
Yes.
Ako yung nag-explain ng social impact nung parang, no, moderators, Yen is our host. But I was the one na parang pag nagkakagulo na parang, so Dr. Margie, parang, what do you say about this? Tapos parang ako, okay, here's yung parang ito yung sasabihin ko sa'yo, ganito. It's super interesting. But I really thank Globe Studios for having that, giving us that chance. So thank you for not just being somebody who gave money to, start a BL series just because, but also realize the impact of how this and how the LGBT are eventually respected or discriminated against.
Yes.
All right.
And we also want to thank you, Ms. Thais, for gracing our crew. Super duper thank you for enlightening us, for sharing your stories, and for sharing your insights. Not just to us, but to everyone who's watching us. And I hope that through these shows and through these conversations, we strike more conversations until it normalizes.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
And
the goal.
on a personal note, it's really nice to see you again after all these years.
Yes.
And to reconnect with you
Same.
on this level. So I really
Mike, I just want to, our history. Mike and I used to work in a bank. We cannot say its name probably, no. Pero
probably not.
it's a financial institution, and Mike was a trainer. My trainer. Trainer, but right? No, Mike was my trainer. Mike was my trainer, and I was a baby. That was one of my first jobs out of college, and I didn't know the world yet. I didn't know what I would feel like yet. Like I wasn't feminine presenting yet. I know I was queer. And I know that I was gender wise, I do not match my what was assigned at birth, and I don't know how to express it yet that time. But then imagine me and Mike having this reunion. Now that I found that voice, I was so far from that 19-year-old who joined that organization. And now I'm in my early 30s, and I was able to speak. I'm able to speak and fight for LGBT rights this way.
Thank you for everything that you're doing
your independence
for the community.
Awesome.
Super thanks. Dagan salamat.
Thank you.
Thank
Dagan
you.
salamat.
Yaman
I
ka
kind of
po.
come a long way.
You
Yeah.
have. You really have.
Thank
We sense it.
you.
We sense it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it,
Thank
guys.
you. Oh
And
my God.
we hope to see you
Correct. With
Before
so
we all
much
again.
break
love from
down.
us.
Mahigpit na yakap. Dagan salamat.
Yeah.
Mahigpit na yakap.
Yes,
Thank you,
and we,
everyone. And
Thank you,
I hope
thank you,
to see you guys again soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you to the
And
viewers.
on that note,
And hopefully this won't be the last.
yes, all right. And
Yeah.
on that note, tonight's SPEAKTrum is the first of hopefully many more series of talks and discussions, which we can all look forward to. So before we wrap up tonight's episode, I would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to the next episode of PBS SPEAKTrum. That will be next Sunday, November 15, Manila time. So please check out our posters and our official social media accounts, which will be posting within the week. So we hope that you will enjoy your
Yes.
next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll help
That's
promote
it.
it, guys. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
First time
Thank
here in our
you.
channel. If it's your first
Thank
time
you.
here in our channel, it will definitely not be your last, Char. So please turn here to see our latest videos. Also, make sure to check out our reaction and review videos on different shenanigans. We'll see BLs, but we have
Yes,
different types of stuff here. And we're
Yes.
very fun and friendly. So subscribe, please.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Invite me to one reaction thing because I haven't
Oh
done yet.
yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes, yes.
That ever.
We'll do.
We
Yeah.
usually
So,
want after
yeah,
show
Inuman.
so
If there's an
we want to
opportunity
get
that I can join you, I would love
The
to
last
do it.
the last GSP episode if you're available.
Yes.
Yes, the last GSP episode.
Yes! Oh, why not?
Join us!
Why
Join
not?
us!
Why
But
not?
guys,
Sige,
But
sige.
guys,
Sige.
it's a little bit different. What reactors do is they do a live reaction. What we do is we watch it separately, and then after the show, we come together and we talk about it. So yun yung
Ah,
ginagawa.
okay, that's the banlaw sesh. Parang banlaw.
Yes, parang
Parang
ganun.
yes.
Yeah,
Parang
yeah,
ganun.
Okay, parang
yeah. So
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sige, sige,
Yes!
sige,
Yes!
sige.
I'll join you guys.
Sure.
Kung nag-banlaw sesh ako last week, they'll probably not invite me to the finale banlaw sesh, so I'll join you. So,
Hey.
Oh my God! Seriously?
sa inyo na lang.
We'll send you the link. We'll send you the link.
Yes.
Yeah, just let me know.
Oh, thank you. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, BBS.
Yes, and that concludes
Thank you for this
tonight's SPEAKTrum. Yes. So we'd like to invite everyone to subscribe in our channels, Bruhaha B Squad and at Bruhaha B Squad on different social media pages. Thank you so much. Happy weekend, happy Sunday. So it's already a Monday. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
BBS.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Follow her on social media.